Welcome, sentient beings of all sorts, to the only anime and simulcast discussion podcast that broadcasts purely to other worlds other than our own. I am one of your hosts, an outdated robot that wonders why he's here, JJ. I'm joined by my fellow co-hosts, a totally not a cat person, a stranger,
E.
and a guy that with a pompadour, Alex.
Yeah.
And we are once again joined by our friend Adam, who is some strange alien we don't know yet.
Hello.
And today we shall talk about anime once more. But first, our weeks. So, let's see. Let's start off with you, stranger. What have you been doing this week?
Let's see, I've been watching a bunch more Sedekai no Ichizan. Been playing a little bit more Persona, but I've got the last dungeon, and if I know Japanese games, it's gonna go on forever.
Yeah.
So I gotta kind of get up the willpower to trudge through that.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's pretty much all I've been doing.
Alright. How about you, Adam?
Well, I've been pretty busy this week, so I haven't had too much time for anime and video games and whatnot, but I did reach the last arc in Monogatari's second season.
Yeah. Kaiki best girl.
Mm-hmm.
Shocking truth.
Anything else?
You know what? I started watching Naruto. Because I was
Podcast
like,
over. Come on, cancel it. We're through.
bye guys.
Did Wilford Brimley happen to make an appearance?
Nah, beat us.
In reality, Wolfer
Diabetes.
Brimley was in us all. We all have diabetes.
But why would you do that to yourself, Adam? Why?
You know, I don't know, man. I have some friends who really like the show, and I kind of wanted to just know what they were talking about. I mean, I used to watch it when I was way younger, but I forgot everything that happened. You know?
If that you gonna start watching Dragon Ball Z and pretend to turn Super Saiyan?
Yeah, I'm totally gonna start watching Dragon Ball Z tomorrow.
Oh god, we can't talk anymore. Through Adam?
Only super long running battle shonen from now on. Next up is Bleach.
Oh
When are you gonna
no!
watch? When are you gonna read One Piece?
Yeah, I'm saving One Piece for last since it's the longest and it's still ongoing.
You know, the most amusing thing is that Eiichiro Oda, and he said earlier this year that he could easily go for 10 to 15 more years.
Yeah, that's insane.
And as much as I may want it to end eventually, because the current arc is actually going on pretty long, I'd welcome it. I love One Piece, so I don't really give a crap.
Are they still in the Grand Line?
Heaven?
Are they still in the Grand Line?
They're in the New World, actually. Currently in the manga, at least. Well, actually, both. They're in the New World. Yeah.
Yeah, I dropped it around this like Skype arc or something.
It's a shame because one of the best arcs comes out right after that. There's a filler arc, and then it goes into Water 7, Ennie's Lobby. That's probably one of the best arcs. Also one of the longest, too.
Anything
Well, if
else?
it's one of the longest,
Oh.
I'd hope it's the best. Right?
Yeah, that's definitely a given.
Well, it depends. I've seen some people hate it, but then some people will say Skypiea is one of the weakest arcs, or now people say Fishman Island is one of the weakest arcs, but there are a lot of people that like Ennie's Lobby. Either that, it's the Impel Down or the War arc.
Yeah, my favorite stuff was the older stuff. I felt like it got a bit worse as it went on.
Mm.
Like my favorite stuff was like fighting against Captain Kuro and what was that dude who like Don something?
Don Krieg.
Yeah, those were my favorite arcs.
You know,
That's pretty good. I'd actually say I don't really have like a favorite early arc. Like I said, I think personally my favorite is Water 7, Ennie's Lobby. Then
I know you guys
uh,
well enough that I actually just hesitated on mentioning I started watching Naruto because I knew what your reactions would be.
I mean, I could give a shit less about whether you watch Naruto or not.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, I don't have a positive opinion on it. Like I remember watching that anime and Sasuke in particular pissing me off.
Well,
I always
I
hated this
don't
character.
have any opinion on it because I'd never really seen enough of it to get an opinion on it. And I feel like if anybody asks me about it, I need to have at least seen some of it to form an opinion that's valid. Because I can't just say, "Oh, this show sucks" if I've never watched it.
Yeah, I never
You know?
watched the anime, but I read several volumes of the manga in high school because everyone was talking about it. And I just could not get into it. Like I could get
Like I said,
into,
oh, go ahead, go ahead.
like I could get into like all the other popular stuff. Like I love Bleach, Death Note, One Piece, Yu Yu Hakusho, but I just could not stand like any of Naruto's characters or the storylines or even the art for real.
There's something very interesting that I noticed about the animation is that you can sort of tell where I think it was Perriott that did it, who also did Tokyo Ghoul recently. You can tell where they put their budget because there's some like little sections that are really, really good and others that are just very subpar. Um,
Wait, what did
even
you call the studio?
isn't it Perriott or something?
Isn't it
How do you
Piero?
how do you pronounce how do you pronounce it?
And that was Piero.
I don't know,
Yeah, I think
dude.
Alex is right.
I've only ever read it. I've never heard anybody say it. Let's check how the heck
It
is this spelled?
it looks French to me, so I just pronounce it Frenchly. So,
Hmm. Well,
Yeah, I think it's Studio
America.
Puro.
No, I'm just kidding.
and that's
Pero.
gonna be our episode title. Actually, I just pronounce it
Really?
Frenchly.
Pronounce things French.
Blah.
No, because I work in the muffin factory.
Just imagine the whole podcast like that.
Oh God, no.
We're just
We
gonna
just
have
start doing.
to
We just
start
start
learning
doing.
French.
Me and
How do
Stranger
you
would just
spell
start.
this?
I
I
mean,
never really paid much attention to the spelling, so maybe if
I'm
I
pretty sure it's
did, I
P.
would have
I
a
think it's
different.
Pierrot.
Yeah, yeah.
Pie. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. I actually switched the E and the I in my head for some reason. So now that I'm actually like paying attention to how you read it, now it looks very French. Um,
I
but
told you.
I just completely flopped where the letters were because I don't know, my brain does that sometimes. Um, that's interesting. Well, what I wanted to talk about was how you can sort of it's very obvious where they put their money, and I have a friend who's pretty. I think they're caught up in Shippuden, which is um, the current series of Naruto, and the animation is so different during like different sections that they thought there was two different studios working on it,
Hmm.
which I thought was very interesting.
Hmm.
How it could have such a difference during some of the battles and some of the calmer sections.
Hmm.
That it would seem like two studios. Moving along.
Well,
Yeah.
like I said, I probably should have given One Piece, Naruto more of a chance. But I just remember my brother and sister used to watch it on Toonami, and it just never clicked. I just didn't see what was so special about it. And like I said, Sasuke in particular always just pissed me off. And the most amusing thing is that they have hated like the last arc. The like I don't know how long the arc is in the manga because the manga actually just ended. Uh, they've hated not my brother and sister. They used to be big fans. They've hated this series, but just kept on reading it because just to finish it, just to see it through.
Yeah, especially when
So
you're so close to the end.
Yeah.
You know.
So
I
what
mean,
it's
I
like
don't
you
know
went
if I'm gonna
that's
specifically,
stick with it.
Alex?
What?
that's just the thing. I remember telling him, I was like, "What's the point of continuing to read something if you don't enjoy it?" But then at the same time, it's pretty much how I am right now with Fairy Tail. So I have no
I
right. I really have no right to really question that, I guess.
I'm
I thought it was
enjoying
the
Fairy
same with
Tail
you
the
and
anime
basically
right now.
too.
What happened?
Me or Stranger, because we both kind of talked at the same time. Well, I said I've been enjoying the Fairy Tail anime so far.
Well, I read the manga. I'm well ahead of where the
Yeah.
anime is, and that's just
So
I don't know. I'm very critical of Fairy Tail sometimes.
yeah, I understand. I mean, I've heard people have complaints about it that are very valid, and maybe they're things that don't necessarily bother me all the time, but I understand where they're coming from. You know.
Mm. Actually, one of my big problems right now, like if you don't mind me slightly spoiling something in the future.
I don't know.
Never
Spoiler
mind then.
what?
Never mind.
You
Never
know
mind.
what? Don't spoil it.
Yeah,
Just
never mind.
don't spoil it.
It's just that there's a lot of like I'll say this: one of the things that pissed me off, and even though this is something featured in One Piece, just not used as much, is the whole like friendship power nonsense. Fairy
Oh,
Tail makes so
Fairy
much
Tail's
use out of it.
really big
It
on
is,
that,
yeah. It just it.
I don't
It,
know. It's
yeah, they've done
I
it.
find it a little bit amusing and just kind of like a that's not how it works, but good for you kind of way. Um, but
Oh
I
yeah,
don't. You know what? You got to
they
change your attitude. Think of it as uplifting. The power of friendship. We can get through anything as long as we stick together.
but
We
that's
can
the
kill a
thing.
dragon. We're gonna kill it. You know what, Alex? You and me, we're gonna go out tomorrow and we're gonna kill a dragon with friendship.
That's just the problem. The fact is, the series uses it so much. It's one, it's like I could take it in moderation, but when oh my god, it's like literally every arc has resolved using, and every fight in every arc since like the last four arcs has like ended with the power of friends saves the day. That's what pisses me off about it.
You know what? It's a feel good show, man. It's a feel good show.
I'm just I just have more critical eye for that, I guess, or a critical. I don't know.
Ah, you're
Critical
just a
something.
cynic.
All right.
Yeah, so be it.
Okay. Let's see. Anything else, Adam? Or no? All right.
Um,
How about you, Alex?
Just been playing the same games, Deus Ex, Plants vs Zombies, and Fable. But I also, during the Halloween sale on Steam, I bought Lovely Planet,
Hmm.
and it's pretty much like first-person Twitch shooter Meat Boy. And it's it can get pretty frustrating. But I've had a lot of fun with it.
wait, that actually sounds awesome.
And trust me, it's colorful as all hell. Has fucking catchy soundtrack,
Yeah.
and I've been playing that an awful lot too. So
Yeah.
Oh, um, quick, moving back to something else. I thought that Studio, how the hell do you pronounce it? Pero.
Pyro.
Pharaoh.
So
Hero.
the way I was picturing the way it was spelled in my mind was Perriot. So
Carry out.
so that's why I pronounced it that
Hmm.
way because that's how I thought it was spelled. Um, okay, moving back to Meat Boy FPS funness.
Well, I don't really have anything to say besides that. That's all I've been doing, like
That's all.
playing.
All right.
Yeah.
Me- Oh, I did remember that. I also watched those little Steins Gate shorts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I haven't gotten around to that.
Neither have I.
Oh,
I watched the first two. I haven't watched the third one yet if it's out.
this doesn't really count for this week since I haven't done it this week. But since the last time I was on here, I started playing 999.
Oh my goodness. I can forgive the Naruto now. Welcome back, brother.
How you haven't yeah, you get any endings yet?
I got the to be continued ending first.
Well, there's like four of them, man. Which one? Which one? Axe ending, knife ending.
Gun.
Which one is that again? I'm trying to remember.
There's a very ornate gun held by a particular character against
Santa.
another character's head.
Oh, yeah, that's the actual to be continued ending. Like,
Now you have to
Yeah,
get
there's
like
everything
that.
else.
it
There's the
says
four
to be
bad
continued.
endings, and there's
Eventually, you're
safe
gonna find
ending.
out. You're eventually gonna find out what Clover is. Stranger's waifu. So
Yeah, I'm leaving now.
Don't you want to see, buddy? Come on, man.
like I said, now you have like five more endings to get before you could advance.
I thought they're a lot easier to get after you get the first one because you can start fast forwarding through some of the text.
Eh.
Yeah.
Though I
Hey, I did.
still
I've also so for the way I got the to be continued ending was making the choices that I thought if I was in that situation I would probably make a choice similar to that. Um and now I'm doing the exact opposite and it's hard because I have to choose the exact opposite of like what I want to say.
one of
And
the I'll give you a tip now. One of the endings you have to. There are like three key questions you have to answer, and you have to do the wrong answer to get a certain ending. But I'll leave you to figure out which one that is, or look
I
up a
can
guide yourself.
I can guess what at least one of them is. Um I'm not going to get into it because I don't remember exactly what the question was, but I think I know like a point that you're talking about. So
What do you think of the cast so far?
Who's the
I
best
think it's
one?
amazing. It's a bunch of interesting characters, and they're all really weird. but that's like in a good way. They're weird and they have like their strange little differences in personality quirks that makes them all very interesting. So like I'm purposely choosing to um, do different puzzles with different people because I want to see how they are in different situations, you know, as I go through the game.
Who's your favorite so far?
Um, let's see. I think I think my favorite girl is probably Clover. Um,
Yes.
because at first it was June, but she scares me now. Um, and then, hmm,
Come on, Seven or
I think
Snake?
I was gonna say I think Snake or Seven was pretty cool too as like a favorite guy character.
Yeah,
Um,
those three are my favorites in the cast.
I like how Seven has like this whole amnesia thing going on, except he's still like he's forgotten events, but he hasn't forgotten information. So like he knows a lot about everything, even though especially with his character design, he doesn't strike you as the type of person that would be like a bit of a database, you know?
Yeah, he looks like he'd be kind of slow, but he's actually like really brilliant.
Yeah. Oh, there was this one puzzle that required playing a piano. And I realized that the way that they set it up with the keys making a different noise than they actually would if you actually hit it on the real piano, it was like super out of tune. I realized that that puzzle they made it really easy for people who don't play piano because just the order that you hit the keys. But when you do play the piano like me and you know what the keys are supposed to sound like, it kind of throws you off, especially if you can read music. So
Yeah, I can't imagine. I have like absolutely no interest in playing any instruments.
yeah, well, if you actually play the piano, that puzzle's a lot harder than it is if you don't. So,
Nice little
I, wa- I,
difficulty
wa-
boost for you.
I wanted to play bass at one point, but instead I bought a PSP, and boy, do I regret that. Oh, that was a waste of $200 right there, man.
dude, if you're gonna spend the $200, spend it
I might
on a
as well have been on
base.
the bass, yeah.
Yeah,
Here's the
Anyway.
thing, I tend to hear, but my problem is I tend to quit a lot of things when, I don't make any progress. And that's was, yeah, I didn't want to spend like $250, $300 on a bass and like amp, get all that stuff, only to quit when I, get down on my like self.
you know what, Alex? I'm sorry to break it to you, but the reason you're not making any progress is because you're quitting.
Yeah, no, I should just take
Boom,
the chance.
philosophy.
Like I said, because one I got the PSP one I'm getting had that like manufacturing glitch where you had the green pixel on the screen,
Ah,
which automatically pretty much cost you battery life for some reason. So on top of that, my PSP didn't last for any more than like 2 hours sometimes. So it was just one giant rip to me.
did you get Persona 3 Portable?
No, I traded in like after a month.
Okay. Yeah,
I
probably
was like,
worth it.
fuck this. It's like I'm like hell with this.
Anywho,
This is also all the way back in like 2009 maybe, 2010.
should probably be moving on since we're at like 20 minutes so far.
We're
Uh,
having fun with the 999 discussion, man.
You know what? We'll save it for later.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
you also started Little Busters, didn't you?
I did until my computer decided to kill itself.
Oh yeah.
Suicide.
Yeah, I'm using a different computer than usual right now.
Yeah.
It was like that
Um,
one robot in Futurama that shot itself. Is that Futurama or is
yeah,
that Simpsons I'm thinking
no,
of?
it did. I would like to say it didn't. My computer didn't kill itself. It just sort of rage quit on cooperating with me.
Okay, okay. Moving on.
Yo, you got an echo.
Yeah, I can hear it. Oh, wait.
Okay.
Echo,
Is it?
echo,
Now it's
echo.
gone.
Yep.
Anywho, my week. Let's see. I finished Ghost Stories. Let's see. I also started and finished the first season of Kaiji, which I will talk about later. But I'll just say this right now: it is probably the most intense, edge of your seat series I've watched in a while. But moving on from that.
Well, I also,
Oh,
before you finish, forgot to mention I got back to Excel Saga
hmm.
finally.
Okay.
I hadn't watched that in like a week. And then I got back to it over the last couple days.
So how far along are you in that, anyways?
Episode 16. Question about episode 16. Is the gag of that episode supposed to be there's like no story whatsoever?
I'm trying to remember what was in episode 16.
Um, the both the Ropponmatsus Matsus pretty much became uh, XLs and that one other girl Hyatt's like sisters for like an episode. It just felt like there was no like thread, no plot thread. Also, it's at one point that one pedophile doctor is like in the middle of like a ring of little girls and he's like happy as all hell.
According to this, it's supposed to be a parody of the Yuri genre.
Uh,
I,
so I just watched that episode and I was like, what the hell is going on with this plot? It was like 10 minutes in. It's like I can't. I think they even joked about it. It's like where the hell is this story going?
yeah, yeah, that one I don't really remember, but yeah.
And then Ropponmatsu just the teenager one just stripped Excel for like no reason. I saw them like what?
that
It's like
that
what happens in this episode to justify? Like I know she's crazy about getting her approval, but there's like nothing in the episode to justify what she does.
yeah. Anywho, back to my week. I also watched the first broadcast dub of episode 1 of Laughing Under the Clouds, which I'm actually impressed by the actors they got for the Soromaru character and the t- Chutaro character, because however you pronounce his name, he's the male character I was complaining about before, who kind of was bland in the original Japanese dub. Well, they got a new guy called David Trosco, Funimation does, who's voicing him in the English dub, and he doesn't really sound that bad. Actually, he improves the character somewhat. And
Since when does Funimation hire new actors?
well, every now and then, I guess. But to be fair, they some of their new
They've added
dubs
a few to
have
their
been
voice roster.
having a lot of new what?
So no, it's like you were saying that
Yeah.
they have added some people to their roster.
Yeah, like some of their more recent dubs, like the Devil is a Part-Timer dub. Uh, what's her name? The one chick who wears tr kimonos a lot and has a hammer.
I haven't touched that
Yeah,
series in a while,
but
so
yeah, she's pretty much a newcomer as well, and
there's a lot of newcomers in One
yeah,
Piece lately.
yeah.
So
But another the one that they got for Chutaro, which is basically the youngest of the three main characters. I'm if I hadn't been told while I was watching it that it was voiced by a female voice actor, I would never have guessed. He's voiced by Terry Doughty, and she does a really good job with him. Like I could not even tell it would have been her or a female voice actor, let alone her doing the role. The
Oh, the person you're thinking of with the kimono, her name is Suzuno
Yeah,
Kamizuki.
Suzuno. Yeah, her voice actor in The Devil is a Part-Timer was like brand spanking new to I have she didn't even have like a wiki page or anything for other.
Alex Moore, and she's been in
Yeah,
two other things.
yeah. But and the only complaint I'll have about the Laughing Under the Clouds broadcast dub is the guy they got for Tenka, he's way too deep for the character. Like he just doesn't match up at all with the original Seiyu. But otherwise, it's a pretty solid uh, for a broadcast for like one of the first two broadcast dubs. It's pretty solid overall.
Are any of the voice actors as bad as Nyanta from Log Horizon?
No, to be fair, the voice actor himself isn't bad. It's more of the way they rewrote his lines are just god awful as hell.
Your tweets made me want to keep the Log Horizon dub about 5 miles away from me if
Well,
possible at all
that's
times.
that's the thing though, is all the other actors are really, really freaking solid for their roles, except for maybe Andrew Love as Naotsugu. But Jovan Johnson, or I think that's his name. He's if it wasn't for the way they rewrote his lines, he would have been adequate. I mean, he can't really beat, say, Joji Nakata, since Joji's pretty awesome of an Seiyu, but he's even if they just stuck with the regular lines that they had for Nyanta before, or just sort of reworked them a little, he would have been fine. But just the way they the way they wrote it, he sounds like he should be in Black Dynamite, not Log Horizon.
Yeah, I saw a clip of it. I'm actually just fine with the guys
Yeah.
Nyata.
You know,
But again, I like just about every dub, anyways.
I don't know why they rewrite lines a lot other than that it
Well,
would fit with
it
the lip sync
yeah,
better.
it fits, and it's sometimes like if like like in say the what was it in Steins Gate episode 12's uh not narration
Are you talking
voice.
about the I am mad scientist?
No, not that. I'm
Oh,
talking about Funimation does their not narrations. It's the voice actors commenting on it. What's the word I'm thinking of?
commentary.
Commentary. Thank you. Like J. Michael Tatum in the commentary for episode 12 sort of mentions it. It's like if you make a reference that say the original Japanese audience would get, but if you ported it over, say the English audience might not get it as well, or might like if they tell a joke in the Japanese dub that say the Japanese audience would laugh at, but the English audience wouldn't you want to get a good reaction to
Yeah.
same reaction sort of, but
Sometimes there are
yeah,
cultural
yeah,
references
culture.
that it won't
It won't
really
real
translate well
yeah,
to the West.
yeah,
That's understandable too. I didn't think about that. Um,
yeah.
yeah.
But that was highly unnecessary for Nyanta, the way they did it. Like, just completely If it was, like, say, how they did Ghost Stories dub, then sure, but not when it's Log Horizons dub. And to be fair, like, Jade Saxton as Akatsuki and, what's the new guy they had for, Shiro, and let me think. What's her name? She's playing Marielle. Let's see. Where's it? I had it written down somewhere. Got a lot of stuff written down somewhere. Let's see. Yeah, here it is. And Shelley Colleen Black. She's just plays Henrietta perfectly. Like it just transitions so well from the original Seiyu to her, and she just matches the role better than anyone I could think of. And Jad Saxton does really good as Akatsuki, as does Mike Yeager as Shiro. But like I mentioned before, Andrew Love kind of makes Natsugu sound like a middle-aged man. I mean, I can get used to him, but he doesn't sound like somebody in their 20s. Uh, but other than that, let's see, what else have I been doing? Kind of got off track there. Uh, oh yeah, and I've been playing a lot of Star Trek Online this week, and
Nerd.
yes, I'm a nerd. But I'm sort of getting addicted to it and sort of off and on. Like some stuff about it are like the space combat in it is really, really good, but the ground combat is kind of crappy. Like, even if it wasn't, it just doesn't match up with. It just doesn't feel like something that belongs in the Star Trek universe to me. Like, it just feels sort of forced at times. And that's another thing with the mission structure is it each quest sort of feels like a formulaic mixture of combat in space to combat on the ground and stuff. I mean, there are some fun like story elements to it and all in each quest, but yeah, I can. It's kind of off and on for me, but I really do love the space combat in it, and actually started like level 11 you start getting duty officers which you can send out on different sort of missions, like say send a couple on a diplomatic mission like you would see in the series or something, and then a couple of others doing research projects or go asking for shore leave, and they'll net you certain resources and the in-game money resource and stuff.
So does that work kind of like the way the in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood Onward,
I have
the like
not.
little.
I stopped playing Assassin's Creed at 2, so I would not know.
Oh, okay. Well, they introduced a mechanic similar to that where you could sort of send out lower ranked assassins
Yeah.
to do little missions like
Well,
that.
the duty officers aren't the same as say your bridge crew, which you can take out on combat missions, but you gain a bunch that have certain different stats per and different things that will help them succeed at their particular mission, and can net you different rewards and stuff. But I'm not sure if it really applies. It's really the same as the stuff in Brotherhood or not, but it might be. Uh, Another thing I do like about it is it's got a whole bunch of customization to it, and yeah, and like you can outright customize how the uniforms of you and your bridge crew looks like, and how your bridge crew looks, their physical features and your character's physical features. Even you can even customize like your ship itself, like switch out different parts from other variants of the same class as your ship and paint it different colors. You can even give it its own name, like, and you'll be able to see it right on top of your ship and stuff, and paint your ship and use different ship design materials from the different seasons and such. So it's like you do have a lot of customization in it. But yeah, like I said, I'm off and on how much I like it. Like it's enjoyable, but I can usually only take so much of it at a time. And other than that, I've just been playing more Shantae and the Pirate's Curse and a little bit of Warframe.
Dang, we're 35 minutes in and we haven't even hit the summercast yet.
Yeah, we're at like
I
35
blame Adam.
minutes.
I blame Adam too.
Second, third that.
Well, you know what? I want to call out Stranger because we can hear your Twitter argument.
Yeah, I forgot I had unmuted my microphone a little bit ago.
Anywho, let's move on to simulcasts. So first up, Log Horizon. See, it did kind of,
Yeah,
yeah, I'd say it redeemed Akatsuki a little bit, but not quite the right amount of the best amount
Only if not because they
developer.
didn't really, only if not because their character development wasn't the focus this
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
All she was really doing was like, I have to be stronger. I have to be
yeah,
strong.
yeah. These
And, that,
last
and,
couple
that, and that's
episodes
about
of
it. That's about
yeah.
it. But
yeah,
otherwise, I
these
mean,
last couple of episodes have just really damped my enthusiasm for the series.
She's becoming the stereotypical shonen character.
Pretty much.
No.
Though
So,
I will say that the whole death scene at the end, like even though death really isn't as important in the Log Horizon universe. I thought they played that scene out a lot better, personally.
I know this was a couple episodes ago, but first time blood was shown in Log Horizon.
Yeah, that was weird. It didn't really feel that necessary when you get to the grand scheme of things,
It's
because
for the drama.
pretty much. Let's see.
I mean, I thought it was a good episode
Yeah,
actually.
Oh,
yeah,
well, um, I think I like the way it played out because now we finally caught up to that scene at the end of episode 1 that Alex and I were talking about a while ago.
That's just strange. I never
Yeah.
expected it to tie back as soon as it did.
Yeah,
I
I
guess
was.
I guess I should have seen it because, or yeah, I guess I should have expected it because you know it's Christmas in the first episode, or at the end of the first episode, it flash forwards, forwards to Christmas. So I was like, I should have seen something coming like that, but makes me wonder what the hell they have planned for the rest of the season. Because
Yeah,
I thought that was
because
gonna be like at episode 12.
yeah, there's gonna be 25 episodes this season, and that was episode 5.
yeah.
So, uh, what? So that's pretty early.
Hmm.
I thought that was gonna play into it later.
Well, there's still a bunch of stuff they have left to do, and I've spoiled a couple of stuff from the wiki a couple of times, but there's some interesting stuff to happen.
Yeah, that's why I don't go on wikis for shows.
Well, most shows
But
it's fine, but since it's still ongoing and the light novels are still being updated for
yeah,
Log Horizon, there's pretty much new stuff all the time.
I did have something spoiled for me in one of the comments of an episode, which it wasn't too big of a plot point. It was more of a character thing.
Was it for Tetra?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I've also
but
had that spoiled.
like because it wasn't really a major plot point, or I don't know, it might wind up being a major plot point, but that'd be weird. It was
Yeah.
just a thing about the character.
Yeah.
I didn't mind too much.
Yeah.
Usually I flip out when something's spoiled, but I was just kind of like, oh, okay, well now I'm not going to be surprised, but whatever.
Yeah.
You know.
Actually, I was kind of finding situations more funnier now that I knew that.
Oh yeah, now that with that a little bit of extra knowledge, I think that's going to be something that is like intended for like, oh, you'll rewatch it later and you'll be like, oh, what? Um,
Is she a dude
but
or something?
We're not saying anything.
No such thing as women in gaming. It's all dudes pretending to be women for free shit.
Now that I think about it,
Hey,
when
I'm
it's,
new. Give me some
unless you're a
gold, winky
Katsuki.
face.
What?
unless you're Akatsuki. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you names? Names
I
of
think
names
it was Akatsuki.
Yeah,
That's how
Akatsuki.
they say it in the
Um,
dub.
Well, I'm gonna say Akatsuki. I can't even say that. I was gonna say
Akatsuki?
I can say it because whatever. That character pretended to be a guy at the beginning
Yeah.
and is now a girl.
Yeah.
She's actually a dude too.
Okay, whatever. It's an anime character.
Yeah.
I don't care. I also don't believe you, but
No, don't believe him.
because
Anywho,
I'm sorry, I don't take anything you say seriously.
nobody should. Anywho, anything else about Log Horizon?
Nothing other than that. We should probably put like in the like a little spoiler warning in
Yeah.
an animation or something, just for people who don't want to know about that.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. Rage of Bahamut Genesis, which this episode pretty much cemented that this series pretty much is the perfect D&D series to me.
I think it has one of the best cast of characters this
Mhm.
season, right up with Amagi Brilliant Park.
Yeah, definitely. Like you have Favreau, who's sort of
You
basically
have,
he
you have ginger afro mullet Jack Sparrow,
pretty
um,
much
200-year-old lolly zombie Sundere.
necromancer as well.
Yeah.
who
Um,
calls them the other characters kids.
Yeah.
But JJ, how can it be the best if it doesn't have pissing dwarves?
That wouldn't make it the best, will make it the greatest.
Pretty much. That would make it be greatest anime ever made. Only if he shouts every now and then, "She left me for a taller man," with tears coming out of his eyes, and he's coked with urine all over.
Yeah, the tears piss.
No, the tears are just very salty,
Eh.
and
Well, you
occasionally,
know what? Instead, we have somebody who shouts, "Favaro!"
Hey,
Like,
at least that produced one of the best pictures I've seen in a while. That one, the Christmas lights pictures. Like, I bet Favreau did this.
yeah, yeah, that was funny. Uh, but
One of the
yeah,
funniest. Damn it.
again,
Again,
this is a running gag.
pretty much. But anyways, let's see. And of course, Cerberus is basically the entirety of the fan service in that series. It's like the just how how many fan service shots could they fit in an episode with just her being the fan service in it? It was ridiculous.
Not as many as they get in Grisaia.
and
that show's so perfect.
and and plus there was just how epic that background battle was while the main characters were basically in a modular sort of uh, game setting for like a D&D game, and it was just perfectly done, I thought. And of course there was the end where she the zombie Rita turns that that conveniently dead dragon that falls to the ground into their own personal servant, and it's like have
Because Rita is awesome.
pretty much Rita, Amira, just the entire cast is awesome.
They make a great
Fact.
party in the RPG.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's basically what they are.
Pretty much,
I also really like the Favreau and Kaiser brief fight that they had.
yeah.
But I am hoping that whenever, like how Favreau said, we'll work out our stuff after we get out. I hope it leads to them actually traveling together because I think they make the show even better. Just the four of them
Yeah.
trying to get to the place that the what's her name wants to get to.
Uh,
Main chick.
Hellham.
no,
Yeah.
Helheim.
Yeah, the Helheim.
Helheim. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
in the show they said, "Hellham." So,
Helheim.
Well, I'm sure once once they redub it, it'll be just Helheim,
yeah.
or
Yeah.
they'll say it more not Germanic, Norse like. I don't know, but yeah, it was just a really, really good episode all around, and just a fantastic. They're just proving themselves to be a really fantastic cast.
I think them teaming up is kind of the natural way for it to
Yeah.
go. So I'd actually
Yeah,
be
that's
more surprised if it didn't go in that
pretty
direction
much.
than if it did.
Because that's basically your D&D party. I mean, maybe they'll separate out for a while, but eventually eventually their stories will collide and they'll be a party. But yeah, it'd definitely be strange if Kaiser wasn't a part of the main party for the rest of the series. But
Yeah. I also that episode does it doesn't have a episode count yet as
mm,
far as I know. So we have no
don't
idea
know.
how
I don't
long
care how
this is
long.
going to run.
I really don't. I really
Yeah, I'll
don't care
keep
how long
watching
it
it.
goes
Yeah.
on because it's excellent.
I'll
Yeah.
keep watching it if it
That's
keeps
when
up being
I'm
as
wondering
good
how
as it
like
is now.
my brother was reading something recently about because of the studio that made the game. Apparently, Mappa has like a blank check to work with in terms of animation. So
I would not
Also,
be surprised
apparently,
by that.
the game has like no plot for them to work with
No,
anyway,
no, it
right?
doesn't.
So they
which
can
makes it all
pretty
the more
much just
amusing.
do whatever they want.
Pretty much.
That's what makes it all the more amusing how well they've done with the anime
Yeah.
based on something that doesn't seem like really has much of a story. So
Yeah. It just earns a lot of money and has basically nothing out. Like it's probably not putting anything actually into it other than art assets and a light amount of infrastructure. Because the gameplay is rudimentary as fuck, so You don't really have much issue there. And let's see. Uh, let's see. Oh, and what else? Anything else about Rage of Bahamut Genesis?
The opening's still awesome.
Yes.
I'm still very impressed with the animation.
Yeah,
Me too.
definitely.
I mean, I guess it's expected of Mappa, but that doesn't mean it's not good.
Yeah.
You know, like even if I expect good animation, I'm still going to be impressed that it's good.
Yeah, definitely. Like it's probably one of the best looking series I've seen this season.
I think right now, it's that like the best animated things I'm watching is that Fate Stay Night and Amagi Brilliant Park.
Yeah, definitely.
I I would say you guys maybe should check out a few chapters to sort of get why I want Mappa to do this. But I'm really hoping Mappa is a studio that does the prison school anime.
Hmm.
Because the
I,
way that looks, I would say sometimes when I'm watching Rage of Bahamut, is some of the looks or some of the animation style is very reminiscent of what you'll see in prison school. So I'm really hoping Mappa's the one who's doing that.
Not sure if it. 'Cause I don't think they have any that much harems, but then again, they don't have much in general as far as series, and I guess they do have TQ, so it could be open to interpretations.
Never
Anywho,
would have thought someone, if people made TQ, also made Terran Resonance and
yeah,
Rage of Bahamut.
there's still
Yeah, that's
another
a
season on
big
the way,
disconnect.
which I'm
So
going to
why
be
not
That's
prison
watching.
school? I say why not prison school?
Oh yeah, they also have Space Brothers as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was
hmm.
somebody else.
They've done
Uh,
more than I realized.
no, they were only production assistant on that one. They weren't animation
Hmm.
production. Uh, let's see. What's this movie? Anywho, and of course they also have Garu this season, which also looks pretty good overall.
Yeah, except I'm not watching it, so I can't comment.
Yeah.
So,
Neither can I.
um,
Though I plan on watching.
honorable mentions to Akame ga Kill and Psychopaths 2 for their animation.
Mm.
But
Well, Kamiga Kill is
White Fox,
White
isn't it?
White
Fox.
Fox
Yeah.
and Psychopaths is production IG,
Well,
I think.
production IG usually has pretty good visuals all around.
Yeah.
Moving on, Gugure Kokkuri-san. So, first off, please have more female Inugami.
Hmm.
She's awesome.
That show was probably one of the biggest at the beginning of the season. It was like high on my I'm probably gonna drop list, and now I'm very determined on sticking with it.
Yeah,
It's really it's made me laugh out loud, and that is the sign of a show that I'm gonna continue watching.
yeah.
So
That whole thing with the girl going out of her way and actually going and working, using her own allowance to try to bully Kohina by putting that vase of constantly putting vases of flowers on her desk, and then Kohina just being like, "Think of yourself first." It's just freaking
you
hilarious.
know, before this episode, the fact that the vase of flowers was on Kohina's desk actually spawned a fan theory that she was dead, which I thought was very interesting. But I'm very glad that that's been shut down now, because that would suck.
Yeah, I wasn't even noticing the vase on her flowers until now.
Yeah, I noticed it a while back, and I was like, "Oh, that's weird." But I didn't give it any thought until I
Yeah.
saw that comment, and I was like, "Oh, well then."
Well, this suddenly got dark.
Yeah, and also
Well,
because there was that whole thing
it's
about how everybody
already
ignores
dark.
her, like everybody ignores her and that, and she doesn't have any friends or talk to anyone. So like it was plausible, and I was gonna. I'm
But
really
then
glad
again,
it's not
yeah,
true.
yeah, that's the thing. This past episode sort of, put that away because everyone was wondering, it's like, why are those two people hanging out with Kohina?
Yeah,
So,
and my favorite scene was when the whatever her name is who was trying to bully Kohina use the slingshot to like launch whatever. I think it was an eraser,
Yeah, right.
and it hit Kohina's head. Kohina just runs back, punches her in the face, and then leaves. That was a fantastic scene. Even though violence is bad, kids, don't do it. But
Oh, and then there's that one scene where
Well, here's the
Kohina
thing.
cuts female Inugami's wrist with a
I love
ruler.
that part. That part. Here's the thing. It's just like also it turns from one of the more uncomfortable scenes in the series so far to because she's just like fondling her back and all that. It's like, oh my god. And then she just Konya just cuts he, and I was cracking up that part. I also just found
Inugami is one character that I'm not too into because I find it to be extremely creepy.
yeah, that's the thing. Inugami is the biggest creep on the show.
Also
And
voiced by
like,
His lair-
the same
his lair-
Seiyu as Krusty from
He-
Log Horizon. And that
That's
His
pretty
layer
great.
of Kohina, especially. That's just the thing.
He gets to this point that it's too much, especially considering Kohina's character.
Yeah.
And I mean I heard somebody throw out oh well he's only like 3, and I'm like, yeah, but in dog years that's like 21, so it's still creepy as hell.
Oh,
You know.
and then there's that one scene with female Inugami and the Tanuki guy, and he gets behind her and faster than the speed of light, and it's just she's trying to keep her distance from him,
I love the beginning of the episode.
and then she used Kohina as like a shield.
I think Tanuki guy, what's his name?
I can't
Shigaraki?
remember. I think
It's
so.
Shigaraki. I really like his character in the fact that he's a horrible person, so he tricks people into by being nice because his whole thing is like, oh, I have to trick humans, so I'm nice to them. You know, that's a very interesting character dynamic, and I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, anything else about Kokkuri-san?
I was gonna say in regards to what Adam said about don't the content of the show of like don't bully kids or don't bully anybody. This is a show that had a 5-year-old threaten to hang herself. So
Yeah, this
whatever
show
morals it has, I mean,
is
here's the thing. It's like I said to JJ. It balances cute and shocking humor.
honestly, it's probably it's definitely the most messed up show I'm watching right now.
Messed up
It's
and cute.
yeah, and that makes it even more messed up. Because like messed up plus cuteness equals worse and better at the same time. Because it's hilarious, but then you're kind of like, oh, why am I laughing? Am I a bad person?
Yeah. Okay. Moving on, let's talk about last week's Amagi Brilliant Park. So I just want to say right now, Joji Nakata as the dragon was just a great choice, honestly.
The dragon was hilarious.
Yeah. And how he when Kanye was like doing his mind reading thing to answer the dragon's riddle, and just when and it's like this super all, and he's like the dragon's like, there's no way he's going to guess that it's like whatever it was on one of his finals in college. And just the change of the reaction from the dragon from just being the typical intimidating dragon to just uber adorably embarrassed or something.
They even changed his character design.
Yeah.
By the end of at the beginning of the episode, he was Smog, and by the end of the episode, he was like
Puff the
I don't know
dragon.
what he was a dragon Pokemon. He was Charizard by the end of the episode.
Oh yeah. Oh, and early in the episode when Sinto falls through the floor and Connie is just like going Sinto, and then
And the cat.
not the cat, the sheep also falls down. He looks at him, and then he
Macaron.
goes back to yelling
Macaron.
Sinto in the hole.
Santo. Macaron's my favorite mascot right now.
The
I
pink
loved
one.
some of the mascots reactions like
Pretty much
they had
both
like the weapons.
those
Macaron and
mascots
Turme
are
is
just
like
the most
incredible.
those
And
mascots.
I had horrible grammar there. I apologize. They are the best, not is, are
The
plural.
mascots in that series, just their reactions makes Five Nights at Freddy's look just happy-go-lucky or something. It's just those facial reactions are just so
The
frighteningly
best.
disturbing. Yeah,
They're the
funniest.
best.
Yeah,
The
they're
best
great.
fact. I
That's
mean,
yeah,
just screenshot all of them.
pretty much. And
Also, I love that the one guy who went missing just pretty much became a neat.
pretty much.
There's a, he just like spends his time. He spends his time missing there. And it's like, no, I just became a fan of anime and whatnot. Everyone thought he was like dead,
Yeah,
and instead he's just like having stuff delivered to him, and he has like just a giant lair
pretty much.
or like a lair.
Oh, and when Sento sold off his stuff, that included like used body pillows.
Oh God.
So yeah,
Shout
someone
out to
bought his
Stranger for noticing
Yakimakras.
that.
He notices these little things at Adam.
Having an eye for stuff like this. You don't want to know how I got it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then his servant was basically Buddha from Gurren Lagann.
Oh yeah, all those Buddhas from Gurren Lagann.
Oh, and did you see the little city they were in when it was telling its backstory?
Time to go back and watch the episode.
Oh yeah, I think I remember something about the city doing taxing them or something.
Well, it was these the things that the little mole creatures were driven into hiding by, and that scene was a mixture of references between Gurren Lagann and Attack on Titan.
Oh yeah.
Because there was this giant thing
Oh
looking
yeah.
over the
Oh
wall, and it
yeah.
looked like an indie spiral.
I didn't pick up on that, but now I'm gonna go rewatch and see with a whole new perspective.
Yeah. And let's see. I think that's all I have for it. Anything else about the well, not the last since we're recording on Friday, but
I'm the only one who's seen the most recent episode because, well, I'm literally in the middle of it, paused right now. So
yeah. But anything else to comment about the previous episode?
I got nothing.
All
I
right.
just gotta say that Sinto line is probably my favorite part of the entire series so far.
All right.
Oh,
I,
I do
oh,
have
and
something to say that's about Amagi just in general, is that I think Kanye has one of the dumbest superpowers. You can read everybody's mind
But
once.
just once.
better than Dark
Like
and
it's
Dark.
not even you don't even
No,
get
Dark and
Lucius.
Dark is way cooler because you can use it an unlimited amount of times as a party trick.
Well, to be fair, as
Like,
far as the one trick thing, that was sort of a thing in Code Geass is with Lucius Geass, but his Geass was making people do whatever he wants once.
yeah,
So
but that's still
yeah,
better than knowing what somebody's thinking once. I mean, I can know what somebody's thinking
Here's the thing:
more
it
than
could help
once
you in a
without a mind
pinch.
reading power. I
If you
mean,
think to use
I
it,
actually, I think it's
if you
very
think to use
useful
it,
for his.
I would say if you think to use it at the right time, just sort of like what's displayed in this episode, it's actually pretty cool power. I mean, it has its limits, but
That's true.
to say
And
to say that Dark and Dark is pretty much a power that just sort of feeds the character's Chunibyo is better as a better power.
okay, I just want to say that anybody who's a Chunibyo or has a Chunibyo or whatever category that Ando is in, they're just having way more fun being alive than the rest of us, and I'm a little bit jealous. Just
yeah,
throwing that out there. And especially when it's a legitimate Chunibyo and you have an actual dark power in your right hand.
a
That
dark
reminds
power
me.
in your right hand.
That reminds me. Tell everyone who you dressed as on Halloween.
Uh, I am mad scientist. It's so cool. Yeah, I was Hoen Kyoma. It
Yeah,
was
you have a
great.
lab coat and everything.
Oh yeah. The I even had a banana
Uh,
and Dr. Pepper because,
It's a
Potassium.
true drink of intellectuals.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the only soda that has its PhD.
True. It's the only doctor.
What about
Doctor Who.
Dr. Thunder?
We don't talk about that here, stranger. We just
That,
don't.
that's like a Tijuana doctor.
And for what I said, we talk about that way too much for like 40 minutes when we're supposed to be talking about anime.
Oh yeah, okay. Moving on.
Oh, I actually did have one more thing to say about Amagi Brilliant Park. It was something me and Adam noticed.
What?
But, um, what's his name? Kanye, his design looks dead up like Gingerbread. How he designs. Like, that was something me and Adam
Yeah.
noticed in DM, like last week.
Hmm.
Because, yeah, he's got the same color scheme, same look to him, everything.
Hmm. Hmm. Not. I don't think I quite see it though. Don't have the picture in front of me to really tell.
Hold on. Let's scroll up and see if I can find it. It's in our little DM thing.
Yeah.
Um,
Anywho. Okay. I guess. Moving on. Uh. Now I'm going to try to get this right now. Grisaia. You guys can talk about that.
oh yeah, that
Oh my
show.
goodness, that new episode. Just
Fox
damn.
Fox. Yeah, that was a
That
pretty good ad.
show. Why is it good?
It is.
It's like good, but it shouldn't be.
Yeah,
You
it's
know?
like you would think it would work with just like all the amounts of fan service and just like how extreme it goes, but oh my goodness, it's
That's just
probably
that's
gonna end
sort
up
of.
one of my
I,
favorites ever.
I would actually say when the more fan service moments sort of ruins part of the episode when she's in the coffin and they just have a panty shot.
Oh yeah, that was. But you know what? Every single panty shot is unnecessary in every show. There is no reason to have those in the first place.
Yeah, it's just
When you
Japanese
think about
media.
it, you know.
Well, it makes sense when you realize that Grisaia is based off a Erojo. Or
Hmm.
Erogo,
Yeah.
however you say it.
Euro. I think it's Euro.
I think it's
H
either one.
games.
I only know that because there was a song in Hate Plus that's like that goes like it's not Euro and it's spelled the same.
Well, I always thought it was arrow for like
Arrow, arrow.
erotic. You
Yeah.
know.
To be
So
fair, the singer, I think she was either Korean or Japanese. I wasn't sure.
yeah.
Mm.
Wait.
But yeah,
Oh,
what's there?
what was we were talking about? We were talking about it was Kanye's
Box of
character
box.
design. We were
Oh,
talking about
No, we were. I think we moved
We
on.
moved on to
Oh,
Grisaia.
okay, never mind. Yeah. Why did I go back? Oh, because I found the conversation with Stranger. That's why I got back to that.
Yeah.
All right.
post pictures on Twitter later as comparison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to Grisaia. I was just like they managed to make that so good with how she was trapped in the coffin and having to come to terms with all the stuff she was trying to run away from. It kind of reminds me of that scene in Kill Bill where,
She's in
yeah, where
coffin, and she has to
she
do
was
the one
buried
inch
and
punch.
Okay. I just want to say I can't like I can't tell if Yuji is the main character's name. I can't tell if he's the worst friend ever or the best friend ever
I would
because
probably say
Let's just call him an extreme
what
friend.
what he did was absolutely terrible, especially um I'm echoing now, I think. But whatever. So she was in a box for 3 days, and he's like, "Yeah, I didn't eat either." I'm like, does that make it okay? You know?
yeah, he said he played it through because he knew that she was gonna survive. Like,
I still call BS.
that,
You know?
Yeah, that part felt a little bit weird.
It doesn't work that way. That's
It's
not.
like
I mean,
nobody
fine.
there.
You know
So
what?
if
Let's just
someone
throw
comes,
out
if
anime
someone comes,
logic and we're done.
that's the
You
thing.
know?
You sort
yeah, I
of
just
gotta. Yeah, that's the thing. You gotta have to. A lot of anime calls for suspension of disbelief, so
Yeah.
that's
That.
why. And even then, I
Also,
agree with you. I agree with you. It makes no sense, but
even if she
I
couldn't
sort of,
eat, you need water.
yeah, that just sort of thing. Unless she was like unconscious and he was somehow feeding her.
I was thinking that's what threw me off was the 3 days. If he had said you've been under
Yeah.
there for 3 hours,
Like,
then I would have been
or maybe he just was bullshitting her perhaps. But I don't know.
Maybe that's also true. He's
The thing
not
is, I think
Well,
exactly
you
a
yeah.
can survive
trustworthy
without water for
character.
4 days.
True, but you'd still be dehydrated and
And I mean, I
suffer
guess it
problems.
explains her
Yeah,
hallucinations a little
but
bit,
still,
but
that could, but she comes out no worse for wear. That's the problem. You would look probably a little haggard after like a
yeah,
couple days in a
Well,
a
if you
casket.
have dehydration, it would still pre it would still be pretty bad.
yeah,
Yeah.
and like there are better ways to convince a person that to not want to die than putting them in that situation. But so I'm
Yeah,
just hating on Yuji now, but whatever. That's not
yeah,
how
he
I
was
would have gone
pretty.
about it, but it definitely made for an interesting episode. So
Yeah, he was pretty impulsive, but I think he's like really good friend to them. Like how much he tries to help them out. It's a lot like key adaptations. He's basically like a like much crazier like Tomoya or something.
yeah, yeah, he also has that sort of like sarcasm as well.
He's just like the most sarcastic person anytime anyone says something. Like I think he's probably gonna end up one of my favorite male protagonists, like right up there with Ken Sugisaki.
Also, who animates Grisaia? Because they're basically trying to be Shaft, I think. Did we talk about this last time?
I
Uh,
don't think so, no.
It's
they
apparently
are
it is
definitely
apparently a
trying to be
criticism.
chef though.
It is apparently a criticism of the show so far, at least that
I
I've
don't
seen.
think it's a bad thing. I just think it's very weird because they even did the head tilt.
It's 8-bit studio.
Yeah. Like when I first saw the show, I was like, "Is this Shaft?" And then they did the head tilt a couple episodes ago, and I was like, "But it's not Shaft."
Oh, speaking of head tilt, didn't Rita and Rachel Bahamut do a head tilt at one point?
Maybe,
It
but
just seems like
Yeah.
the art
maybe
style
had
is
Yeah.
maybe
so the art style of Grisaia is so much more similar to Shaft than Bahamut that that it's more noticeable, I guess. Like it threw me off more um, to see it in Grisaia because the way the characters are designed looks looks like Shaft. Actually, I think the character designer did work on some Shaft shows, so that might be it.
Yeah, basically
Um,
has Sensei Hard too.
yeah. But whereas even if they do a head tilt in Bahamut, it's not really going to look like Shaft,
Yeah.
even though it's a head tilt.
Oh yeah, you were talking earlier about that whole suspension of disbelief stuff with anime and like you were talking about that, but you weren't talking about a split personality because of a heart transplant.
actually I was actually about to mention that too. I still thought I can forgive that because the way it played off the dynamic, I guess, between the different what's her name?
Michiru.
Yeah, the
Well,
two different Michirus, like to see the difference between them, or like see her try to come to terms with all that. I thought it was used it well. At least that's what I thought.
yeah, so I looked it up, and the character designer is the same as Bakemonogatari and the whole Monogatari thing, as well as Madoka Magica.
I just,
So
I think I just never realized exactly why I like this series so much. It's like a mixture of Shaft and Key.
with a little bit of Higurashi undertones thrown in.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah, I'm loving this so much.
Also, with the suspension of disbelief with the whole heart transplant thing, I guess that was just one of the things that I was able to suspend my disbelief for, and also it could be more of a um like a coping mechanism for Michiru. So
Yeah, but then again, like I said, since it's similar to Key, like Key likes to throw in little supernatural aspects here and there that don't make sense in like the normal world, but it works in the world that Grisaya provides. Like, yeah,
also, I think it was easier to suspend my disbelief because split personalities are a thing that exist in the real world, whereas somebody being in a box underground for 3 days and then coming out as if nothing happened is not something that can happen in the real world.
maybe she was hibernating.
All right. Anything else you want to talk about Grisaia?
Well, um, I like that they're sort of following the Michiru story because she's probably one of my favorite characters in the show right now. So I'm
Well,
glad
they're
they're
probably they're
following
probably
her
gonna do all
route, I
the other
guess.
words next.
Yeah, and I know I've seen some comments from VN readers
No,
who
no, no.
I'm not spoiling anything. I'm just saying they seem to think that like they're really pissed about how much stuff is left out, but really as a person who's never read the VN and isn't really intending to, I think the story like comes together pretty well, you
Yeah.
know.
Although I am gonna end up donating like $25 to a Kickstarter so I can get the VN and play through it afterwards. Because you get the best of both worlds. You get to see the anime as it's airing and like learn the story behind it, and then you get to play the VN afterwards and learn all the stuff you missed. Which that's the same thing I've done with a lot of other VNs I've been playing through.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
All right. Moving on then, Denki-gai. First I want to say, they all babied out in that episode.
Wait, did we talk about last week's episode?
I'm talking about Thursday's episode.
No, but did we ever talk about last week's?
I I think we did
I don't
we
think we did because
record
then
on
we recorded on Wednesday. Then guy comes out on
yeah.
Thursday, so
Would,
we got to talk about both episodes,
or
or at least part of
I
either
don't have
episode.
anything for what happened in the week in the episode before this one.
Uh, uh, Schrodinger's panties.
That the Schrodinger's panties, and it just had
What?
it had a picture of Schrodinger with panties on
Sure.
his head, and then this really whacked out looking cat right beside him.
And what was supposed to be the whole theory is supposed to be whether a
That
schoolgirl has like
cat showed
panty.
up later in the
Oh,
episode
oh
too.
yeah, with
Or
Somalira,
yeah,
Somalira,
Sommelier.
Somalira,
Sommelier.
Sommelier.
Sommelier. Yeah, and like then the cat being like he grabs supplies from a store for the cat, like he's going to take it in, but then there's these bikers who pick it up, and you expect it to be like them being bad people and all, but then they start feeding it the cat and acting like they sort of laugh like you'd expect biker bandits to laugh when they feed it, but they're just acting normal around the cat, like petting it and stuff. And it was weird. And
So, what did you think
You
of
know,
the scene? The
bikers
one
can be
part.
nice people too. Don't stereotype.
now I'm suddenly reminded of an episode of TQ. Anyways,
Uh, what did you think of the one scene with the cherry blossom? The cherry blossom leaves replaced by panties.
oh yeah, that
I
that
was cracking up so hard at that part.
that part kind of made me think of the comic artist, like the very last episode of it, where he's singing about panties instead of the credits.
Uh,
This most recent episode felt a lot more like the comic artist than,
Yeah.
but for obvious reasons.
Well, actually, I looked it up, and the one director guy isn't actually voiced by Jun. What's his last name? But apparently, it's somebody else.
Are you sure?
I checked, and the wiki lists it as somebody else.
Kantoku is voiced by Yoshisugu Mat. Yeah, that's him.
According to, but what was that? Anyways, uh, but yeah, I thought it was Jun Fukuyama who did Aito. Hmm. Because that's what they have it listed on the wiki for comic artists. Hmm. Hmm. But yeah, the latest episode where he's like commenting on all of her, commenting on how her girl power just
her
keeps,
lack of girl power.
yeah, and it just
That
keeps
segment
going
was
down.
funny. That segment was funny, but it went on too long.
Yeah, I guess it did, but it's still enjoyable to watch. And the first part where they're all like they're trying to get the comic out on time, and then they spill the ink on the page, and it's like they all start babying out, and
Hmm.
then the main character, like you expect him to like shout at them or something, or at least I was, but then he just becomes a huger baby than any of them with his
It's
crying.
funny, just like it's like some Skyrim type stuff going on. He's like sucking in the wind.
Fusroda! And then
Instead, he
he
just
becomes
cries.
yeah. And let's see. First part it really wasn't outside the baby part at the end. It was just sort of more tamer, not quite as out there, not one of the more out there parts I thought.
I would say
But
it was more better for like
yeah,
bringing the cast to get together.
yeah.
I thought it was fine because I was actually like the first segment better than the second.
Mm,
'Cause to me, the second segment, the gag just went on too long.
mm, mm. Yeah, I can see that. Uh,
Agreed.
well, I mean,
I thought
I did
with the
enjoy the
second segment could
gag,
have been like
but
it could have been a lot shorter though.
yeah, definitely shorter.
It didn't. They didn't need to devote a whole half of the show to it.
Yeah. But anything else about Denki-gai? Either episodes?
Not that I can think of.
All right.
Oh,
Mm,
I actually had one thing I want to mention about Grisaia that I forgot about.
okay.
Um, it actually had an ending theme this week, and
That
I
was a
don't
good
know. If,
song, actually. Good song.
yeah, I don't know if y'all noticed or not, but I'm pretty sure it was sung by Michiru's voice actress. So what I'm hoping for is that it's gonna go the Monogatari route and have a different theme for each of the girls after their arcs finish.
All right.
Which, like I was saying, that was just another thing that was Monogatari-esque about the series,
Yeah, they just want to be as much Monogatari as possible.
and it's working out so well.
All
But
right.
yeah, moving on.
All right. Moving on. Inou-Battle.
Love this show.
I'm
I'm
very
a,
much
I'm
enjoying it.
I'm close to dropping it.
What?
I
Yeah.
was starting to get bored with it, but I mean, this past episode was really good.
I don't know. As a
Yeah,
person
I
who
real
At
likes,
least, or at
I
least
really
fairly strong from a character perspective, in my opinion.
it was just going so many typical atypical harem routes and just nothing happening at all that
well,
I'm
it's a
quick.
parody of that, isn't it?
Yeah,
Isn't that the whole
but
point of the show?
pretty much if it doesn't start catching my interest again, I'm definitely going to drop it. Honestly.
I don't know. I think just the whole basically a normal slice of life show, except everybody has crazy
Yeah,
superpowers.
but
But I
That's
hope
actually the weird thing. I actually went in with the same mentality as you. I was getting ready to drop it because I was starting to get bored with it.
eh,
But I actually really enjoyed episode.
I'll
What is it,
try
episode 5?
another episode or two, but yeah, I'm just not enjoying it as I was in the first couple of episodes. Yeah. I mean, maybe
yeah,
my opinion will change next episode, but yeah, I just don't care for what's happening in the show anymore.
I hated the first episode, but I've loved every episode since.
And I'm kind of going the other way direction. I mean,
Yeah, from the beginning, I went in hoping that it was going to be slice of life where everyone just happened to have superpowers.
Wasn't
Which,
that's basically what it is?
yeah, but that first episode didn't look like it was going to go that route.
That's true.
true, but I did actually enjoy the first couple of episodes. But now it's just getting so freaking bland that I just don't want to continue it, honestly.
You just want a supervillain.
Eh.
You want there to be a supervillain
Well,
to blow everything up and then
to be
have an awesome fight.
fair, I am more of an action sort of kind series sort of person generally, so
And action's
eh.
one of my least favorite genres,
So
so,
yeah, I
so that's
can
no wonder
Get
understand.
we're
good, stranger.
opposites.
Get good, stranger.
So I can understand
Says the
why
person.
it's
Says the
kind of
person who can just sit through any comedy.
so.
Any comedy, good guys, Suritama.
I don't know. I guess I'm a patient person, but I can like both equally. I really like my action shows and also my
Yeah.
quote boring unquote slice of life shows. I mean, the last episode of Monogatari that I watched was 20 minutes of talking in a restaurant, and somehow that was more entertaining than a lot of other things I've seen.
Mm.
which is absolutely ridiculous to me.
Oh my
But that's
goodness,
just
that
because
was
that
the
show's
last
amazing.
episode you watched.
Yeah.
That was so
Um,
awesome. The whole
but then I also like my crazy action kill la kill Gurren Lagann uh,
Yeah.
type stuff as well.
But me, it's like I prefer action series is like Trigun and of course Gurren Lagann and stuff. But slice of life, they tend to go lower on my list a lot of
yeah.
times.
Are you generally more of a shonen person?
Not really, actually. Shonen is typically like outside of JoJo's Bizarre Adventures and maybe Choriko every now and then. I'm not really that big on shonen at all.
Katanagatari. Oh, I started
Katana
watching
got.
that. I
Oh,
forgot.
nice.
I actually got that spoiled for me, so I'm not even sure if I'm gonna ever watch it.
What did you get spoiled? Or
No, whoa, whoa, whoa,
No,
whoa, whoa! I'm watching it right
no.
now.
uh
Let's just say a character death. That's all I'm gonna say.
oh
Okay.
yeah, I know what you're talking about now. Though, yeah.
I was like, well, might as well now watch the series now.
No, you now you need to
I
watch
could,
the
I could, I
series.
could, I could. It's just that like to have that part ruined for me. It's like
Eh.
I saw the character. I'm like, shit.
Well, to be fair,
Like,
it's not really. Honestly, it's the adventure towards that and how it
I know.
affects
And he was
him.
like, I could still watch it. It just depends whether I actually fucking watch
Yeah.
any of my shows besides reading instead of reading manga half the
To be
time.
fair, it's an hour long. Each episode is about an hour long, so it's already a very time-intensive
Yeah,
series.
that's why
Yeah,
I've only gotten
I
through
watch stuff at night,
two
man. It's
in
not
the past
time isn't an
week,
issue really.
2 weeks. I'm watching it at basically like one episode a week because that's what I have time for if I can
Yeah,
find like a 40-minute block.
yeah.
You know,
How far in are you?
2 episodes,
Yeah.
and I started watching almost 2 weeks ago.
Weren't we talking about Inou-Battle?
Yes, we were. I'm not sure where we went with this. So, any comments on
So,
the actual episode?
Battle. Um, I thought it was a good episode. Like from a slice of life perspective, it was a good episode, I think. And
Yeah, it's been having like some really good character building lately.
we've got the drama building up. Let's see who the fangirls are going to be shipping. Um,
I also found it funny the redheaded girl acting like a
Maya,
chuny. Yeah, Tomoe acting like
just
a chuny.
saying, I'm on the SS Endo X Tomoyo. So
I am too. Yeah,
I don't
Maya's
bother.
like
I don't bother with all that shit.
Yeah, I'm
uh,
not that big of harems in general, really. Which,
well, the whole point of this is I don't want it to be a harem show. I want it to be a romance between these two people, you know,
well, I don't think
which is
that's
which is
where
the
it's going.
Yeah, that's not gonna
yeah.
happen,
Yeah, it's
man.
definitely not where it's going. Especially with the white-haired chick's reaction to seeing both of them together.
it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, anime characters, you need to communicate better. Like if you have a question, ask it. But then again, we'd have no story, so don't do that. Never mind. I want to watch all your problems.
It gets frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to think of what would a story be like if there was just a character that just knew exactly what they were doing and like things were resolved, and I was like, oh well, that would just be a show that's like 5 minutes long and that's the entire thing, because like they'd just fix the problem.
Well, to be fair, like Josiah's kind of doing that with how genre savvy it is.
Yeah,
Like
that's
oh, you're
that's true.
like when he said on to Michiru, oh, you're putting on a Cinderella act, just
Yeah,
stuff like that.
that's still one of my favorite moments of the show. Because he was like, oh, you're a tsundere then, except you're not really a tsundere. You're acting like a tsundere.
Yeah, I love it when shows get genre savvy,
Mm.
because then it just makes it so much funnier when they end up circumventing it.
Well, the protagonist of Katanagatari is kind of like that
Yo,
as well.
yeah.
He's just kind of like, I'm dumb and I know I'm dumb and I know all I'm good at is cutting things up.
Yeah,
You know.
as far as Katanagatari, I thought they really did both of the main characters really well, especially their relationship to each other, honestly.
We just keep getting back to guitar stuff.
Well, honestly, Katanagatari is like my second favorite Studio White Fox series right now. Like, it moved on past Jormungand and The Devil is a Part-Timer for me.
Now it needs to go past Steins Gate.
No, that's not possible. There's just a wide gap. Even in my top five list, there's Gurren Lagann, and then there's this huge gap between Steins Gate.
So what's her name in Katanagatari? White hair.
I know it. It's just on. I know it.
I'm gonna look it up. Hold on. Um, she's the female protagonist.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Number one, she's Nui Harame.
Togame.
Yeah, Togame. Her Japanese voice actress also voices Nui Harame, and is the narrator of Gugure Kokkuri-san.
Yeah. Yeah, and
So
Wait, what?
you know that woman's voice who just sort of like says, and Kohina still didn't have any friends or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, that woman, she voices
Yukari
Togame.
Tamuru.
Hikari Tamura.
Yeah.
She's my favorite seiyuu.
Yeah.
Like she voices Rika from Higurashi, Nanoha from Magical Girl, Lyrical Nanoha.
She voices
kinds of
everyone.
We're all voiced by her. Yeah.
It's like a Vince McMahon type twist.
She's in Canon. She's in Clanad.
She's in a bunch of key series.
She's in Higurashi.
Yeah.
She's in Girlfriend Kari, which I'm not watching, but I have a friend who is.
I've
We
heard
should,
that's terrible.
we should probably get back on track. Okay. Any other thing to talk about Inou-Battle? Yeah.
I'm gonna like to see how they end up like dealing with the drama between Tomoyo and Hatoko. Because Hatoko is like the childhood friend character, and obviously she's not gonna win.
I don't have too much to say about it other than that I am excited to continue watching it because I really want to see where the story goes.
And I'll probably
Alright.
drop it.
Then you probably wouldn't like Sedekai no Ichiban either. I just realized because, like someone
probably
said on
not.
Reddit, Ando is basically the second coming of Ken Shigesaki.
Yeah.
He's my favorite male protagonist ever.
Anywho. Moving on then, Lord Marksman and Vanadis.
Not watching it.
I'm watching it.
Yeah, I can understand that. Like, I'm only keeping on it because how much I like the characters. Everything else is shit.
Echo.
Yeah. Stop that going. Okay, good. But
Oh, you should pick up Wall Trigger again.
no, World Trigger was just awful in general.
Isn't World Trigger just like a slideshow with voice acting?
That would actually
As
probably
well.
improve it. At least then you could get a professional artist or something. that I don't think we need to comment on how awful that animation was anymore. We've already said it a bunch on like the last couple of episodes. But
It's
anyway,
always funny to bring back up the torture of you.
but anyways, this week's episode, it wasn't that bad actually. Like they didn't. Yeah. Echo. Why did it echo?
Hello. Is
Anywho.
anybody there? Oh, I'm not echoing. Dang it.
Okay, and
I can't anymore.
He said so disappointed.
but I'm guessing on the one hand I'm kind of all right with the fact that they're going with the whole they're all falling in love with him because he's a damn good archer instead of like just randomly falling in love with him for no particular like say he's a nice guy or something.
That's that's what like one thing that really turns me off from the whole harem genre is because all these girls fall in love with a guy when like why?
Yeah.
Why? There's like
There's just no reason at all.
this person doesn't even have redeeming qualities and they're kind of a terrible person in like 90% of these shows. So why? You know, and I feel like it's just I don't know, I feel like it's probably just written by some sad guy in his basement.
Pretty much. And that's kind of what sucks about Lord Marksman and Vanadis is like
But
these
that's
two
the thing. It
main
has otherwise.
characters
Yeah.
are really good, well developed, and just the way they interact with each other is actually good. Like it actually makes sense and it doesn't feel forced or anything. But then all the other characters are just sort of, I mean, not including the maidens themselves, but all the sub characters, they're just, especially the that one maid, she's just awful, painful to watch, and they're just all like they're in a
Well,
harem.
thankfully she wasn't in this episode.
Yeah,
The only two quote harem unquote animes that I've really gotten into is Nisekoi and According to Stranger Clannad. Even though Clannad isn't listed
it is a
as a
harem,
harem
but
anime.
I don't get why it's not
Yeah,
listed.
One of the first seasons of
but
Harem, second one, right?
Yeah, I can see that. But what else to comment about Lord Marksman? Alex?
Uh, I actually didn't think the episode was that bad.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Especially with the talk with the one, I can't remember her name.
The Ice Maiden or whatever she is.
Yeah, that was actually, I thought a good part.
Yeah, and the way he's like in the
Just
bear
in the
gully
yeah,
suit,
just
and well, he talks.
the one thing that bothered me about that is you would think she'd notice his voice,
Mm,
possibly, unless it's implied that, to me it sounded the same. It could be implied that he's
yeah,
changing it, but that's the one thing that sort of threw off the scene a little bit for me.
yeah.
Otherwise, I thought it was a good
agree.
episode. No bad horse animation as far as I can
need a
remember.
voice?
There was
Why
not
not
even a
Zoidberg?
horse. What?
They did
It's a Zoidberg joke. Don't you watch Futurama? Come on.
I haven't watched it in a while.
Okay, well you know who
what
Zoidberg
was
is,
it?
right? So, I did like a subpar Zoidberg imitation. Need a voice actor? Why not Zoidberg?
Oh, now I hear it. I sorry, I was listening to Alex, so I didn't hear you.
Don't worry about it.
So what were you saying,
We'll
Alex?
get the future.
No, we don't have to. We don't, we don't have
We'll
to
get
talk
to. I'll
about it.
actually get to a moment, one of my favorite moments of Futurama for after this. But
They
I was
had a
just
Doctor
saying,
Who
like,
reference in it.
We should
I know.
probably get going. We're already an hour and a half.
All right, well, I just otherwise thought it was a good episode.
Yeah.
But back onto Futurama really quick. One of my favorite scenes involving Zoidberg is when he plans to stay on Atlantis, and somehow his seashell burns because of Bender's cigar. And then Hermes is on the side. When they first see his the shell burnt down, he's like, "That raises a lot of questions." And then after they find, it's like Bender says, "Oh, that's where I put my cigar." It's like that raises even more questions. I love that part. And also the neutral people. I love the neutral people. If I die, tell my wife I say hello.
They have no strong feelings one way or the other.
I remember there was actually a video clip on YouTube that actually, I guess maybe people came to some agreement. It had the same amount of likes and dislikes. And that was just amazing.
Moving on. Let's see. What did you think of the last seven deadly sins?
I'm trying to remember exactly what happened.
I didn't write anything down because I can't, so I'm trying to remember as well.
Wow, how bland is the series?
Um,
It's good. It's just
yeah,
it's been a couple days since I
not.
watched it. It's a problem.
I will say
And also
there's
this episode, I would
outside of
actually
the
say that
fact that it has
I'd
a
actually
giantess character, there's not much standing out for it past its shonen.
I said I like the show, and I actually remember what happened is that they're fighting the one guy.
Oh yeah, that one guy who can turn invisible and stuff,
Uh,
and uh,
Also, what made this episode so forgettable is that it felt a lot more typical than the last
yeah,
first couple.
especially that part where Elizabeth is like, "Oh, he died. His death is my fault," but
Uh,
she didn't in any way contribute to his death outside of asking what the main character Axel, or what was its name? The main character.
uh,
But
uh,
anyways, she asked him to help her find the sins and stuff,
uh.
and it. you had no. There
That's
was
another thing
yeah.
every anime character does. Every
Yeah,
death is my fault.
even though it's you
And
have
then
no way.
it ends with the guy casting the illusion of
Yeah, yeah.
them seeing
Both
each other as
Diana
it's
and the main character basically fighting each other, even though they think they're the one weird Fang guy.
hmm
Yeah. Honestly, there really wasn't much standing out about this episode. At least I didn't think. Though that could be that it was mainly the main two characters and not Diana or the guy of the Sin of
Creed.
Greed. But hopefully there's more of either of those in the next episode.
Yeah.
Because what I've seen of Greed so far, he's enjoyable to watch. Oh yeah, there was that also that fan service shot with the one chick, and he's like taking off her armor and trying to put it on himself. That was just okay. Anyways, but anything else to comment about the episode?
Uh,
Okay. Have any of you watched the last I Can't Understand What My Husband Is Saying?
Nope.
Yes.
I did.
Yeah, it felt like they needed a lot more time in that episode. Like there didn't feel like there was much of in any way of gags, honestly.
Yeah, they kind
It's
of
like
gave up
taking
the
it's like
humor.
taking a yeah. It's like taking a break for a character episode.
Pretty much.
Yeah, they kind of gave up on the humor for that episode to just pack quite a bit of drama and emotion into that little 3 minutes.
Yeah, that really doesn't work. Like if you're going to have that small amount of time, you got to really devote it to humor if you're a comedy series. Which, in retrospect, that would probably be the only series that would work in a small, like 3 or 4 minute or 2 minute in TQ's case series. Which it honestly felt like they were wanting a full 24-minute episode series, but sort of only got the budget to do like 3-minute series episodes.
I don't know. This is one of those. This is kind of my show that I'm considering dropping for the season.
Yeah, I probably won't since it really is a small amount of time on my schedule.
Yeah, and it also maybe it's one of those things that I'll drop for the season, and then when it's all over,
Yeah,
and I have an hour to kill, I'll watch the whole thing.
that's
You
also
know.
probably a good idea as well, but I probably won't since, like I said, it's not that big of a time consumption on my schedule, and the only
Yeah, but it's all just like I missed the last episode, and I also don't have much of an urge to go watch it.
yeah,
So
that can be a pretty big problem with me sometimes with some series is like if I don't have the if I don't feel like starting like starting an episode I missed, it most series tend to end up on my drop list by default since I keep putting it off and off until I've got a huge backlog of episodes that I really don't want to start, which that that's kind of happened to me with Momo-kyun Sword, which
are you still watching that?
no,
Okay.
Did you ever finish it?
I never finished it, and it's
Oh.
still on my watch list on Crunchyroll, but I've had no will to catch up with it.
You know, my rule is whenever I get 3 episodes behind on something I don't really feel like catching up, then I'll just immediately drop it.
Yeah.
Like that's what I did for Sora No Method, and oh my god, Adam, how are you still watching that?
Basically, I really like the opening and ending themes.
Yeah.
Why?
If that
That's not a reason to keep watching it.
if
That's a
that was
reason to watch the opening on YouTube.
if that was a
No,
reason
no,
to keep
actually,
me watching, I would have kept up with Zammed.
no.
Because
I think it's interesting. It's also it's a show I'd consider dropping, I guess, but I consider it. I don't really think I'm going to just yet. I'm still going to give it a bit more of a chance because I still think it's interesting, even though some of the characters annoy me.
I dropped it
Because
because all the lolly melodrama was just getting on my last nerve.
and I mean, I definitely have complaints about the show. There are pros and cons. I actually think for the first project that they've ever done, the animation studio did a really good job. I like the animation and I like the art style. Um, but my main thing that I don't like about the show is I just think some of the characters are stupid and and really like they're basically they're dumb and childish, very middle schooler. Um, they're middle schoolers, and it's very obvious, and that they have a they've reached an age where they're like at a point in their life where they think they know everything about the world, and they really don't know anything. And they're like trying to be and they're trying to act like adults, and they're still being really childish, like holding a grudge for 7 years. Who does that? Like for leaving without saying goodbye? I mean, you're going to hold it against you're going to hold something against somebody that they did when they were 4. That's just stupid. Why would you like if somebody does like I'm not still complaining about the kid who stole my truck when I was in preschool. And these characters are. And
Wait, I zoned out. What the hell are we talking about?
Sorno method.
it was me complaining about the
Wait,
characters on a bit of a
wait,
rant.
what show? What show?
The
Sorno method or celestial method. The characters are really childish when they act like they shouldn't be, And also, I have a problem with my suspension of disbelief as how did this giant saucer appear over this town and the U.S. government hasn't tried to shoot it?
Well, isn't it? Wouldn't it be
Who cares if it's in
Japanese?
Japan? Who cares if it's in Japan? A giant saucer appears in the sky. Somebody's gonna try to shoot it down.
Yeah, the U.S. would totally try and liberate that.
True.
Might have oil.
And like the fact that they've just sort of left it alone for 7 years. I don't know. I'm still gonna stick with the show though. I don't know why. It's my irregular Magic High School of the season.
No,
Oh God.
but yeah, this I think it's
I think I
frustrating me.
completed that show actually.
Why?
No.
Even I dropped Momoki on
And-
sword.
Okay, let's be real.
But-
Momoki and Sword was more drop worthy than
Okay, fine.
than Magic High School.
That Oni-sama. But yeah,
But,
the thing that's frustrating
still,
me
I
so
think-
much about Sword
I
Art
think I'm
Method.
still enjoying Sword Art Method more than the regular Magic High School, because at least it doesn't make me uncomfortable when I'm watching.
I think the thing that frustrates me about it so much more than you is the fact that it's written by Naoki Hisaya, who also wrote Canon, and just see him fall so far from that is just killing me.
Oh, so you just have like expectations that aren't being met.
Yeah, that was the main reason I was so excited about the series coming in, is because it was written
Also,
by him.
If there are any middle schoolers listening to this, I'm sorry if I offended you. I was making a generalization about stereotypical middle schoolers. I know a lot of you aren't like that.
Although I would have
I
grudged
doubt, I
it.
doubt they was. It's like 2 people on Twitter. They're probably listening to the show. Besides
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
And even then, I
I
just
don't
skimmed
think
the show.
anyone listens to it.
The statistics for our show is like only a couple people really watch it to the end.
You know what?
it's just
One of
three-
them
it's
might
just-
be a middle schooler. I don't know.
It's 3 maniacs talking to themselves with special guests.
Pretty much.
Why am I even here?
That is a good question.
They drugged you and
Well,
put
we
you in
are-
a dungeon.
Were we on Danikid before we went
No,
over?
I
no,
think we already
we're-
finished talking
Yeah,
about
we wrapped up on that and started talking about Sora no Method.
So, yeah.
And then I
No, I
complained.
interrupted it in the middle for Sword Art Method.
Whatever.
I don't think we
don't care-
really
don't
had
care about
anything
that.
else to talk about Donovan, though.
Well, I was gonna say that I really liked the episode. Like, I think at this point I'm the only one who's really enjoying it that much, but I bumped it back up to 8 because
Yeah, I think I've got it at a
just,
6 right now.
yeah, the drama from this episode, even though it was really short time, it was still done pretty well. Like that line about him saying it would be 100 times better if he collapsed. Like, that was just
Stranger,
pretty
you're the
powerful
drama
stuff.
guy.
I am the drama guy of the group.
Like
It's got drama
I
in
like
it.
my my drama here and there, but you you like you were so drawn to it in a way that
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever will be.
Yeah, he's the drama, Alex is comedy, and I'm
Hey,
action, and I guess you're
hey,
all around.
yeah, I'm pretty well rounded with what I watch, but that's basically because I just take recommendations from you guys. And I take recommendations from all of you, so I get my fair share of action, comedy, and drama.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
so you contradicted yourself, stranger. You really like drama, but you dropped Sorna Method because of the drama.
Lolly drama.
So what are
There's
your
no
opinions on
difference.
Black Bullet?
Oh my
I'm never
God,
gonna watch it.
that show was so bad. I enjoyed it in the sense that like when you I enjoyed watching it with my friends because we would make fun of it. And also it did have a legitimately interesting story for a couple minutes.
Yes, for a couple minutes, and then it's like lollies
But like
everywhere.
I didn't I never took it seriously. I think that's why I was able to get through it. I did watch the whole thing and the ending pretty much ruined everything I liked about the show. But the reason I was able to get through it was one of the opening things was the sensei guy tells uh young protagonist, if you don't want to die, survive. And I was like, okay, yeah, people die if they get killed.
Between Black Bullet, Mahoka, and Naruto, you really have no standards, dude.
Yeah.
I mean,
You'll
I'm
just
willing.
be
I'm
like,
willing to.
oh, hey,
We
this is
we
anime, let's watch it.
Okay, you watched whatever that show was like. The Lolly
Ryokyu.
Basket. Yeah, why do you know what I'm saying?
We
You
all know
watched
what.
that. I have standards. Um, I'm
Oh, when I get into these random anime nights, we play roulette where we'll type in random numbers and we have to watch an episode of whatever comes up, no matter how bad it is.
so,
So
yeah,
I've seen some
so
pretty god awful stuff.
I'm willing to I'm willing to try something new and see if I like it or not. Which is I guess why I tried Naruto is because other than Fairy Tale, I've never
we
been interested in a
we
shonen
yeah
action type thing.
we
Read
So
One Piece. You
yeah
have to read One Piece, man.
we probably should get moving on. We're already at an hour 48 minutes.
anybody
I
watch
would like to say,
Psychopaths?
No, no.
Okay.
but yeah, one more thing about what you said earlier. It's one thing if I'm watching like drama where people are dying or have tragic backstories. It's another one if you moved away 7 years ago. I hate you.
Yeah, it's really dumb. I don't know.
Yeah, it's lolly drama, not actual
Why?
drama.
Yeah, why am I sticking with this show? It's really stupid.
Making you question your entire decision to keep up with it.
You really are because I mean, even when I'm watching, I'm like, this is stupid. This why are you complaining about this? Why do you have a grudge against what somebody did when they were like 5?
Yeah,
You know?
Rado was talking about how much he loved the show a few weeks ago, and now he's about in the same boat as me.
Yeah.
So he, even with him liking it
You know
way more
what?
than I did at first, he dropped
I'm
it.
gonna give it's gonna have 13 episodes, so I'll give it one more and see if it can do something to keep me invested. And then I'll drop it if I am not still interested after the next episode.
Yeah.
Uh,
Move on, JJ. I know you
yeah.
want to.
Because really, it's actually
Okay.
really bothering me now.
I guess any other shows you want to talk about from this season or not season this week?
Question for you guys: did any of you happen to check out the Analog OVA?
The what?
What?
Never mind.
The
Don't waste your time.
the
Don't
what
waste your time.
log? What?
It's called Analog, or it's for can't remember. I think it's
Analog?
Analog or something like that. It's
I
supposed
think
to be
he's talking about
about.
Log Horizon.
And let's just move on then.
Yeah, 'cause like I
We're
said, don't
we're
bother
already
watching. I couldn't even get through 5 minutes of it.
we're
No,
already in almost 2 hours, so let's move on. It's
Remember that time where we had like a 3-hour podcast?
we're
Or was
getting
it four
close to
hours?
that. No, it was almost 3 hours, but we're getting close to that. Uh,
play Metal.
okay. Is if there's are there any other shows you want to talk about, or should we move on to other anime?
I dropped
Oh,
Shiro Bako.
why?
I just wasn't interested in little slice of life stuff that much if there's not much drama going on.
I still like it.
And, all right.
Has it did anything interesting yet?
Depends on your definition of interesting.
Like street racing while singing anime songs?
I don't think so.
Uh,
So yeah, you probably won't like it from here on out. It's still just the whole like behind the scenes stuff that they're trying to get in a recent episode, trying to get that one guy with the like blonde mohawk pretty much screwed stuff up. So they're trying to like fix things.
Mm. All right. I guess let's move on to other anime we've been watching. So, how about you, Adam?
White Album 2
yes.
is a thing I started. Um, Also, Monogatari, as I talked about earlier.
Yes.
Let's talk about White Album for a little bit. I can't talk. Um, so I've reached in the beginning, the very first thing that they establish is there's this point where everybody's happy, and after that, nobody's gonna be happy ever again.
Oh
Um,
my goodness.
and
You
I
can
reached
already
that
see why I love it so much.
I reached that point in this show. To be honest, Stranger, I think you liked it a little bit more than I'm liking it. What did you give it, a 9?
Yeah, like I said from the beginning, I had like literally no reason as to why I should be enjoying it as much as I did. Like I said that as soon as I watched the series. Like
Yeah,
I felt,
I don't think I'm enjoying it as much as you did. But I'm still gonna see it through. I'm gonna continue watching. It's interesting enough, uh, and I don't know. I like that it's got the whole love triangle thing going on, which is I don't know how I feel about that. I
well, the
think
thing,
I think out of the love triangles I've seen, this is one of the better ones.
yeah, the whole thing about the love triangle is from the beginning to the end. It's played very realistically. It's like it's not anime logic at all.
Yeah, because
Like,
usually if a love triangle is introduced, it makes me want to drop the show, and it didn't happen here. Maybe because I sort of went into it expecting it, but also because it's not incredibly dumb the way it's handled. Um, where where a lot of times the way love triangles are handled in romance animes is there's two characters that are absolutely perfect for each other, but they need to have some sort of conflict, so they throw in another one to screw stuff up. Um, and this one was, as Stranger said, a lot more realistic. It's people interacting in in a way that people do. It's not like somebody randomly appeared to ruin somebody else's relationship. It's a relationship that's sort of being built, but and I'm very interested to see how it goes.
yeah, and like what episode are you on right now?
I'm in the middle of 7.
Yeah, it just once
So
you start getting further and further into the latter half of the series, it just breaks down more and more. Like
yeah,
everyone's just like you were saying, it's realistic because all the characters are teenagers and they're doing all the stupid things that teenagers do whenever they're in relationships. Like they're all like I
oh
was actually replying to a Reddit comment at one point that like someone was asking if they were all evil, but I said they're not evil. They're just doing the same kinds of stupid selfish decisions all people do.
yeah. Another thing that I do want to give props to the show for was they actually did the thing correctly, where there was a possible misconception when and instead of what I think Battle's going to do and just having it play out and be dramatic, the what was her name? Idol girl. Um,
Setsuna,
yeah, she called the main character and asked him about it, and got the situation cleared up.
what is
Um,
this? Like,
the
when
whole
does that happen?
it was, what do you mean?
When does that happen in anime?
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, this is like the first time I've seen that. It's always they just blow it up into like, oh no, his toothbrush was there, ah, and then for some reason that becomes the main plot of the show is all
You had
spawned
him.
from a toothbrush being in the wrong place. And
They reminded me of that toothbrush scene from Nisei Monogatari.
why?
Why?
Why did you remind me? Ugh, you've ruined brushing teeth.
You
I'm still gonna do it
won't
because
like it though.
because but like. they could have made all of the rest of the drama for the rest of the show begin with why was this guy's toothbrush in this bathroom, and that's what every other anime does, and all these assumptions are made by the characters, and everything just gets screwed up because nobody wants to go and ask, hey, why was your toothbrush in uh what's her face's bathroom, you know
Thelma.
and then he gives like the actual answer, like, oh, I was staying overnight practicing my guitar. Sorry, I didn't tell you. But
Yeah.
like he was honest instead of trying to think up some random other story
Yeah,
to
that
cover for himself.
that realism is my second favorite thing about the series.
And I really liked that. So
And my favorites, the performances of the songs. Like, how do you like White Album, The Sound of Destiny?
I so
Like, you made it past the school festival, didn't you?
I'm like right in the middle. I think their performance is over, or like it's wrapping up. Um, where I left off because my computer ran into issues when I was watching. Um,
Or you quit?
yeah, rage quit. Uh, Um, but it actually rage quit before that. I was on another computer, but technology doesn't like me sometimes. It doesn't want me to watch anime. Um, but actually, I think it was a problem with Crunchyroll. Um, so what was I talking about?
White Album
Thank
or
Yeah,
sidetracked.
the songs in it.
Oh, I thought they were good. I definitely liked the saxophone. That was awesome.
Oh,
Yeah,
Just throwing
the
that out there.
I have no problem. I have no intention to watch White Album at any point, probably. But my brother goes crazy over the saxophone.
Yeah, that was
yeah
great.
He favorited the song. He goes crazy over it.
Yeah, the saxophone was fantastic,
yeah.
and
I would never recommend that series to you, Alex, because it's romantic drama without any comedy whatsoever.
And I intend to avoid it.
It's like your kryptonite.
Yep. Like I could, I don't know.
really, in all honesty, I
I really
prefer
just,
comedy, but
eh.
Yeah, but yeah, Adam, the White Album and Sound of Destiny were the only two things that were carried over from the first series. Like that's why you don't have to watch the first one before watching the second,
hmm
because
yeah, I
the
don't plan on watching the first one because I heard it was just a stupid harem thing. So,
um watched the first three episodes because I wanted to give it an honest chance, but honestly, it was the most mediocre thing I've ever seen in my life. Like
but
there was absolutely nothing good or bad I could say about the first three episodes.
you see, I don't want to watch it.
Yeah, you ain't gonna be missing much at all. But yeah, those two songs were the only things that were carried over because they were sung by two of the idols in the first series.
hmm
But yeah, second one blows the first one out of the water.
Yeah, I don't know. As a person who likes music, it's a I think it's a very good show just from that point of there's good music in it. Um, especially the piano playing and the saxophone. Um, they did a really good job recording everything. They made everything sound really good. The animation could have been like it wasn't I kind of wish it was like Angel Beats performance level, or where how they in the first episode of Angel Beats, the way that they animated the performance of Crow Song really with a lot of detail really really well. I kind of
What?
wish
No, don't bring that up because that whole stupid stuff with Girls Dead Monster is the reason that was only one core because they poured all the budget into like touring that band and just trying to play them up like insanely.
Yeah, no, I totally understand, but I did like the animation, so I'm not
Evil.
gonna complain about it. Um, but I do wish a little bit was extra was put into just that scene of them performing because I really like it when I liked that part in Angel Beats. It sucks that it was only one core, but because there really should have been two, because really half the characters didn't get to developed.
yeah.
But um,
You can't give Kia a 12 episode series. It
yeah,
does not work. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still love the series, but it could have been like literally perfect.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites, and it's probably my favorite. I think it's safe to say it's my favorite. But I could also go with Steins Gate. Um, but it could have been better. It could have been a lot better. I think it was really good, and I think it was actually it's one of the better things I've seen, but it still could have been a lot better. Um,
You end up getting the visual novel whenever it comes out.
I don't know.
It's
To be
supposed to
honest, I
fix.
think visual novels are really more your thing than mine. But
I tried to play that. I tried to play that one that what's Will recommended. The dysfunctional systems.
Oh
I
yeah.
know VNs are not my thing because I
Well,
was just fucking.
dysfunctional systems isn't that long actually. It's like
Yeah, but I still had no
one
patience
to
for it.
3 hours. To be fair, dysfunctional systems at the start kind of is sort of bland, but it eventually just like the ending and one actual choice you get are both really good. Like they're just really intense, and it really makes you question your actions. Like either no matter which one you went for first, you'll be questioning whether you made the right decision in later on. I mean, but at the start, yeah, it's kind of sort of bland, but I can understand what you're going for is you don't really have the patience for it as much.
Hmm.
I suggest checking out maybe at least Juniper's Knot, which is also by the Dysfunctional Systems developer. It's well, first off, it's free and it's sort of like a short story in a visual novel format, and yeah, it's enjoyable, honestly, but it's an enjoyable little short story. It's what I'm trying to say.
I'll try to keep in mind. Like I said, I don't want to entirely write off
Yeah,
dysfunctional systems, but there are a bunch of other games I want to
yeah,
play first. So,
and
and
I'll
also before I forget, Adam,
and and an
well, finish what
alternative.
you want. Finish what you want to say first, JJ.
Yeah, and alternatively, there's also uh analog a hate story, which is well, it's kind of uncomfortable to play at times, but it's really well written, or not well written, but well presented in some of the stuff. Gameplay wise, it's not the best, I'll admit, but it's still worth its shot. Plus, it's
Oh,
more text reading than actual visual novels, so it's sort of different.
oh, and there's also Planetarian on Steam if you want something by key. And it's the shortest one at around 4 hours.
I've seen you talk about that a lot, so I've considered, but I got a lot of. There are other things I want to purchase first.
Yeah, it's got
Wait,
some good drama in it. It's
This
also
also
got some
raises the
comedy.
question, like my patience for like more like I guess like text heavy stuff, or my impatience really has me wondering if I'll enjoy Persona whenever I play it. But
You'd run Wheel of Time.
Yeah, we should probably get back on
so
but
track.
Alex, there was a
like
thing
I
you
said,
wanted to tell me before you
yeah,
forgot. Did you forget?
you said that you like music and anime, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I like music and anime. I don't know if I like them together. I mean, White Album's good, but I don't. I know
If
they're,
I'd actually, there's one
but
series that I've talked about before. I even recommended. And it's probably actually become one of my favorite series after I finished it. You should check out Beck.
what is it?
It's pretty much the process. This one kid learning how to play guitar, and he actually joins a band.
Okay,
It's actually
sure.
really, actually a lot better. uh, my brother recommended it to me, and I wound up enjoying it a lot more than I did. And it actually, I'll say like some of the character stuff is a little better than what you see in most anime. It doesn't have the best star. It was also made like in 2005, but you should also the English is painful, but I
Peer
think you would
pressure.
I think if you could like dig like the whole music stuff in like White Album, there's no way you wouldn't dig Beck. Because it actually goes to
Hmm.
but then again, it depends on your taste. Because it's more like the band that the guy joins is more like alternative mixed Rage Against the Machine.
You know, I have very widespread taste in music, and a lot of times it's very individual on a song. I don't really have very many artists that I consistently like all of their stuff. which I know isn't really common. A lot of people have like a band that they
Well,
like, and I mean, I
I'm
guess I have the
I'm kind of the
Beatles,
same way
but
as you. It's
so
more
I'll
songs
have
Fools
to
that
get good.
hear it.
yeah.
I'll have to hear it before I know if I like it or not. Because there are a lot of songs in every genre that I like and don't like. So
Yeah,
Like I
like
said,
the more
I
melodic
just
death metal.
Anywho,
yeah, more prog rock.
we should
But
probably get back on track.
honestly, I listen to
well, we were on
soundtracks.
track because
JJ,
That's
this
what I
sounds
listen
so
to.
sad.
We're
Guys, we need
I'm
to hurry
probably
up.
I have to edit this stuff. Remember, guys,
all right.
and
Well,
upload.
all right. So and I
Poor
post.
JJ.
All right. Well, to get back on track, I guess we're moving on to what we've been watching, right?
We were on what we were.
All right. Or that's what we're on,
Adam,
right?
was there
I, g-
anything else besides White Album that you said that you
I've
wanted?
been watching Monogatari.
Oh yeah.
Um,
We
we don't need
discussed
to get too
Monogatari.
into it. Hmm?
Okay. Well,
Stranger,
Yeah, I
what
think
was
we
that?
actually discussed it earlier, didn't we?
oh yeah.
Yeah, we got into a little bit. So and also Naruto. So
Yeah, we should probably move
we
on.
got into pretty much everything else that I'm watching.
All right.
So I think we're done with me.
All right. Me, I have been watching a series called Kaiji, and it's really good. Basically, it's about the main character whose name is Kaiji, and a bunch of people who are basically under a tremendous amount of debt, basically gambling for their lives in a bunch of strange different games. And but the main thing about the series is it really does a good job of keeping its audience almost constantly on the edge of their seat each episode, and each episode just seamlessly transitions into the next, so it can be kind of a nightmare to find a place to where you want to stop for the night if you're watching a bunch of episodes at once. And uh, Kaiji as a character himself, like in some ways, he's sort of your average guy who's really down on his luck. But then he has moments where he's like super, super clever. So you kind of got this dynamic of rooting him for him as the underdog while also having him come up with some really smart plans. So it's an interesting dynamic, I honestly think. I will say there are a lot of problems with the series as well, like well, basically, the series in general, since he is sort of a mix of an average guy with moments of cleverness, a lot of stuff, a lot of ways he has to actually succeed are mostly due to basically small Deus Ex Machinas in order to progress the action. I mean, it's not like stuff that's outright given to him. He still has to do half the work, so I honestly didn't think it really interfered too much, but it can be somewhat of a hindrance at times.
Yeah,
And
I'm not into Deus Ex Machina.
like I said, they're very, very small. Like your average person, if they had them, they it wouldn't help them at all. Like he has he really is clever in some of the ways he does stuff. Like just the dynamic of the series itself, it's sort of psychological in some of the ways, like how he tries to outthink his opponents. And well, basically, the first game is basically this weirdly done card rock paper scissors where you have a number of cards and star and life stars, and the way he comes up with plans, and it's in the very first ep- couple of episodes. It's really interesting. Like he's not quite Lelouch or say Light or something in coming up with smart strategies and stuff, but when he does start to come up with stuff, it's really, really interesting to watch. And, it also another thing I really don't like about the series, or not so much don't like, but find a problem with, is the fact that it kind of over explains some things, and it has this like he sounds like the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure announcer, but basically they have this announcer that basically explains any symbolism it starts bringing up. So it can kind of interfere with it a little bit. The animation itself, it's more unusual, but I'm not sure if it really interfered. Like it feels more absurd, sort of looking like something you expect out of a comedy series, but not a series where people die and get dismembered every now and then. And it's mostly actiony, or not actiony, but intense, sort of constantly on the edge of your seat series. But all that being said, the music really like I at first I was thinking the music was kind of but as it goes along, like some of the tracks in it are just super eerie and really add to the intensity of the series. And the closing song, it sounds like an old Western movie sort of, but with Japanese lyrics, like just a sad old like country or western song playing, but it actually fits the series almost perfectly, which is unusual. And I'll admit I still haven't finished the second season, which is like another 26 episodes, or the other series by the same author and studio and has the same art style called Akagi. But so far, I'm really much enjoying it. And other than that, I've just been watching the Log Horizon dub and the um, Laughing Under Clouds broadcast dub. Uh, how about you, Alex?
Well, like I said, I've only been watching Excel Saga, but I also watched the It's Not My Fault OVA,
Mm.
Matamote. But yeah, other than that, I haven't really been watching it.
Oh
I did want to bring up.
yeah.
I did want to bring up a question to Stranger. You never watched the last three episodes of Higurashi Kira, did you?
Shit. You need to remind me, dude. I
You
think
should
I
do that
keep blocking it
sometime.
out.
I think
You
you
brought
gotta do
back
that.
a traumatic repressed memory.
Oh my god,
Uh,
it's all coming clear again. Why would you do that?
I would say at least watch it by like next Tuesday or something like that, or at least before. Because I mean, I watched the three episodes of the I scored list. So
Yeah, no, you gotta
yeah.
remind me. Because I do intend on doing it.
Yeah.
All right, I'll try to remember
Even
to
though
remind you to watch it. 'Cause I was wondering if you had ever watched it. So
I'll just do
yeah,
like
but
you
that's
did and make one tweet at the end saying it sucked.
Hey, to be fair, I started live tweeting Chubra. But I mean, that's the thing. I just I don't I I have a hard time focusing on more than one thing at a time. Or like I generally have a hard time. What's it called? Multitasking. So I just usually focus on watching stuff most of the time without tweeting it. But other than that, that's all I've been watching. So
Right. How about you, stranger?
I've been watching Sedekai no Ichizan, which I've already talked about plenty on here. And other than that, the only thing I've really watched was those little Steins Gate shorts.
Mm. All right.
Oh, um, who was it who watched the first two episodes?
hey,
What did you think of them?
I liked them. I thought the second one was pretty sweet, but I also thought the way the first one ended with the Okabe like loving the food, and he was like, he's like, what was it? He's like, he called the organization. It's like, this is delicious or something like that. I thought it was hilarious.
The face he was making when he said El Site Concrete, it was just all about what the fuck.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't even understand what was going on. It's horrifying. And then,
Uh,
like I also made a tweet after watching the third one saying Karisu basically orgasmed while she saw Okabe in like different outfits, and I'm not joking. Like I legitimately think she did. Like she started panting during like the first one, and just start turning red with the second one. Third one, she
I
was
haven't I haven't watched the third one. This is
yeah. Third one, she was laying down against the couch gasping. So yeah, I think she did. Yeah, it was pretty weird.
Okay. Okay.
And I'm pretty sure JJ either just moved it way up his list or else
Nah.
decided to never watch it.
I'll probably wait. Uh,
Yeah, they're pretty weird. It is fun. I'm revisiting the characters even if only for a few minutes a episode though.
well, I guess moving on then. News and topic or news, anyways. First up, as I mentioned before, and this was kind of news that happened less than an hour after we finished recording our last episode. But Funimation has announced they will be doing broadcast dubs now, and the first series is up for this are Laughing Under the Clouds and Psychopath 2.
I'm pretty sure you mentioned that last week.
No, this happened immediately after I
yeah, pretty much.
finished
Not. I wouldn't
recording.
even say an hour. I'd say it was like 20 minutes after we
I
finished.
thought it was like 40 minutes, but yeah, pretty much less than an hour after we
I
finished.
I almost wish they could have chosen a dub dub Bahamut. So
Uh,
I'm sort of curious
not
to see how that would be in dub.
not really. Honestly, they said they were going to basically they're going to change the dubs when they get like these are just going to be like simple dubs. Like I can sort of understand why they did chose both Laughing Under the Clouds and Psychopath 2 because Psychopaths, they already have all the cast pretty much selected and stuff from the first
From the
season.
first season.
And Laughing Under Clouds, it's not really a bad series, but it's not really a great series, so they can sort of experiment with it more, I think. As far as Rage of
I like ghost
Bahamut,
stories.
yeah, as far as Rage of Bahamut goes, I'd rather they had more time to work on it than be on a schedule, honestly. Because with the broadcast stubs, I think they're going to be more on a tighter schedule. Like, I mean, they're going to be a few. I think they're going to be like a couple weeks behind right now between the normal cast, like maybe like 4 or so weeks. But even then, they're going to be on a tight schedule. I think. So it's. I'm not sure they're going to have quite as good dubbings for the release for the broadcast as they will for the final release, but I don't really know for sure yet. Anywho, moving on, an anime adaptation of the Hiromu Arakawa manga of Heroic Legends of Arslan has been announced, which is actually one of the few manga series I'm keeping up with. And if you don't know, Hiromu Arakawa, she did the manga for Full Metal Alchemist.
Mhm.
So the art style, like for the noticeable thing about the latest Heroic Legends of Arslan, because there actually was a manga or light novel and manga before, but the noticeable thing about this one is the main characters, they look like Edward from Full Metal Alchemist and Ling from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. So it's just weird to see them together. Anyways, then that's that. I've also Bones is to produce anime called Blood Blockade Battlefront TV anime, and apparently it's original. The original work is written by the Trigun manga and anime writer, and it will be directed by the director of Keiyo So Giga. So I'm sort of looking forward to that. And next up, Assassination Classroom, which is a show scheduled for next season, is scheduled to be a two-cour series and will be directed by the director of Angel Beats and Humanity Has Declined, Seiji Kaishi, and we'll have Fukuyama as the main character. So I I noticed that apparently in this news that I brought up earlier, there's apparently a character called Bitch Sensei. So I'm kind of interested in the series now.
That's all it takes.
Pretty much.
Once you find out there's someone named Bitch Sensei, you're just all in for it.
Well, you kind of have to see what's up with that when you have a character named Bitch Sensei.
I automatically added it to my plan to watch as soon as it was announced because the premise sounded so freaking stupid that I had to.
Yeah.
It's like when I added the Twin Tails anime to this season, even though it ended up sucking.
Well, it looks like it's going to be pretty good because it has Seiichi Kishi directing it, and just the sounds of it honestly sounds interesting to me, actually, but it could be pretty fun.
We're talking about Assassination Classroom, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Then again,
Okay,
though,
that's a show that I've been on the fence about watching. Like, I feel like I'm probably gonna check it out, but I don't know.
It
You know,
it sounds fun to me, so I'm definitely going to check it
it
out.
definitely. When I first read the description, I was pretty on board just because of how ridiculous it sounds. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll check it out
Yeah.
when
Anyways,
uh,
they
and to be completely fair about what you said a little bit ago, JJ, you said something about the director, but then again, I seem to remember a spring series that you said was directed by the Steins Gate director.
well, again, Seiji Kishi, he's had better work than the Steins Gate director. The Steins Gate director literally has nothing else that's actually good behind
Yeah,
him.
that. What was that show?
Is that
Selector
Super
Infected, I
Sonic?
think.
Yeah,
Never mind.
like
Yeah, that
that.
ended up just sucking.
Yeah, to be fair, I have heard it gets better later on, but even then, he that director had literally nothing else good besides Steins Gate in his portfolio, so there's a pretty big difference between him and I'd say Seiji Kishi, who's had like at least a number of good series behind his name. But
Yeah, it's trying to be cautious coming in.
yeah. Anyways, any other news you want to talk about?
Uh,
No. All right, moving on. Games or
Wait,
wait,
wait.
what?
In extremely weird news, um, there's gonna be an Attack on Titan crossover with Marvel Comics.
Still only the
Oh
second
yeah.
stupidest thing to happen to Attack on Titan. There's
Yeah.
still there's still that Attack on High School shit.
Oh yeah. But you know
What?
what? I mean, so basically the thing is, all of a sudden the female Titan is in New York, and the Avengers are like, what the heck? And that's the 1 second summary, not 1 second, like 1 sentence summary of what this is gonna be.
How would superheroes have any problem destroying Titans?
Hey, wasn't like the cast of Ghost in the Shell randomly in one Spider-Man comic or something?
I don't know.
Because I remember seeing like Bato and the Major and different characters in like a panel with Spider-Man coming down on them or something. It was weird.
What the
I would
To
hell?
be
assume
fair,
so.
that's only like the second stupidest thing to happen to Spider-Man. There's still Peter Porker.
Is this gonna be a recurring theme now? It's only the second stupidest thing.
To be fair, with comics, there are a lot of stupid shit that happens.
If there's something stupid, you can guarantee that there's something stupider.
Pretty much.
Fact.
Okay, moving on. Games or VNs we recommend. So, how
Nine
about
nine nine.
okay? I guess
Nine
that's
nine nine.
Adams. That's Strangers. Movie. No, so is that your? Okay. So is that your recommendation, Adam?
Yep, 999.
Okay,
Go play it. It's entertaining.
and you, Stranger.
999. It is entertaining.
So 999 for both of you, and
Hey, what you recommend, Alex?
yeah.
uh, I actually recommend Lovely Planet and 999, or
Yes.
just the Zero Escape series in general.
Basically, if you're listening to this, you have to play 999.
Simulate JJ.
I'm going to recommend Reciteer, an item shop's tale, since it is basically the best and only item shop simulator out there.
I need to get
And
that.
nine
Well,
nine nine.
an interesting thing. It's apparently supposed to be pronounced racketeer.
No, it's that the she what the basically it's a combination of the two main characters' names, but the Tyr the fairy, she basically comments that it could be easily misread as racketeer, but
I
it's
can swear I
just
read something. I can swear I read something that
mm,
says
it's
officially it's pronounced like that.
I think it's supposed to be racketeer since that's the both of the main characters' names together, but she I can get where you're coming from as far as the name goes, because that's even commented in the game itself, commented on in the game itself.
What was the one line? Because I played the demo. And I do plan on buying eventually. What was it? Like communism, yay, or something like that? Or I can't remember.
No,
No, not
it's
communism.
not. Yeah, that's
Capitalism, ho.
basically her.
Capitalism, ho. Something like
Basically, the main character's her. Basically the common line she says a lot. That and a couple of others, but it's mainly capitalism ho. And let's see. Any other games we want to recommend?
nothing.
All right, moving on. Anime we recommend. So, me, I'm going to recommend Kaiji, and even though I'm only halfway through it, it's the series that it's the most on the edge of your seat type series I've seen in quite a while, and just to warn some people, it's almost on the levels of the second half of Steins Gate in that it has long stretches throughout where it becomes very hard to find a good stopping place. And how about you, Alex?
I'll recommend Daily Lives of High School Boys,
Oh yeah, I definitely second that because
which is a really good. I mean, it has its weak segments, but it's a really good it's a really good comedy, a good
basically parody
slice of
of
life comedy.
slice of life, but from male
Yeah.
spec's point of view.
That's actually precisely what I loved about it because it's like pretty much it takes things from a boy's perspective.
It's on my watch
It's
list
like,
Yeah.
or planned
you should
watch
definitely
list.
you should watch it if not just because of the ending theme too. I love the
Oh
ending.
yeah, the whole play with the
Ba, ba, ba,
characters.
ba, yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
that song was addictive, and just the whole play scene was absurd as hell. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I definitely second Daily Lives of High School Boys. And of course, as another comment on Daily Lives of High School Boys. What did you think of the after segment with the Daily Lives of High School Girls, where
Oh, that was hilarious because
yeah,
they made them the most like meanest people.
that
And they just like thought nothing good of the boys, where the boys were just like minding their own business half the time.
and then there's that one guy with the cap, and it's like he has that injury from the one sane girl of the group who's actually very horrific of a character,
Yeah,
just personality wise.
yeah, like back her in the past. The one what's her name? Yata or something like that. With the
Uh,
had to do with the glasses, and they're always on
yeah,
the hill. Those are some of my favorite segments.
yeah. Oh yeah, the chick with
And then
the
also the RPG that they had,
yeah,
and had like a bunch of different casts, and it was just like when they did like the sum up of who was who, it just kept on showing the same people like going into position.
yeah,
Really funny series.
yeah, definitely. Let's see. How about you, stranger?
I'm gonna go ahead and recommend the Monogatari series. Like it's kind of got like a, what would I say, kind of like a high level entry because of just how much dialogue goes on, and it flashes a lot of the character thoughts over the screen, so you have to pause if you want to read them. But it's just like really witty and has a lot of good moments in it to keep you interested. Plus, all the characters are like really super interesting. And one more thing about it is the fact that the stories, like each arc, is told from how the characters see the world.
Hmm.
Like if it's focusing on one of the adults, all the children just seem like a lot more trivial than they seem from the arcs told from the children's point of views,
Hmm.
which is like if you're watching the scenes being told from Aragi's point of view, he'll just be like all godly, but he'll just be kind of more comedic if it's from someone else's point of view.
All right.
Episode 12 is probably still one of my favorite anime episodes of all time, personally.
Pointing
For
out the stars, oh my goodness.
for Bakemonogatari, I when I saw that episode, I'm like, oh my god, that was tremendous.
All
Yeah,
right.
you really need to watch the rest of the series.
Yeah, I'm with you
And
guys on that. Episode 12 was amazing.
Okay. Moving on. How about you, Adam?
Um, I was thinking about recommending Monogatari, but Stranger took that. So let's
Back
go
me
with
up.
Nisekoi.
take a second to that. Boo! Don't listen to
No.
Adam. Stay as if you don't want to be
Yes,
frustrated. Like,
Nisekoi. I
please,
second that.
do not, please, just do not watch
Okay,
Nisekoi.
hold on. Okay, I'm gonna recommend Nisekoi with a warning. Do not go in expecting the plot to go anywhere.
Anywhere, nowhere. Like it
As
does
as
not
long
move.
as long as you want, as long as you just want to see people being silly in silly situations in a Monogatari type of art style, then go for
Most
it.
hilarious facial expressions ever.
And you know what? Since we seem to have some opposition from Alex, I'll also recommend Working,
Yay!
aka Wagnaria,
All right.
because that has an equally awesome cast of characters.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if we have nothing else we want to recommend, hopefully you all enjoyed this unfortunately very long episode. I hate you all.
Have
Hey,
fun,
Good luck.
man.
it's always Adam. It's always Adam. We always get good discussion with Adam, so blame him.
You should
I'm
have brought
saying,
our radar
if you
again
guys ever
too.
have me on again, we should just split it into a couple different episodes.
Oh God. Anyways, hopefully you enjoyed this episode, and thank you for Adam for joining us. If you
Thank
would
you for
be so
having me.
so kind, please like this video and share it with other people, even though it's very long. I'm looking at you, Adam, again.
I'm
But
sorry.
He rustled his jimmies, man.
but you can follow all of us in this podcast on Twitter, and we are also on my anime list, and a few of us are on Ask.fm. And additionally, you can follow us all of those on our either from the description or our blog posts on GIO. But until next time, bye.
Later.
Ye
See ya.